Sounds good to me.
I used to singing, baby. Oh, come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you
good if you know me.
Come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you sing about a melody? Oh, come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you
good if you know me.
Come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you anything you want to sing about? Just sing it all out now, sing it all out.
Selektah.
Let the world know what life's all about. Come around, why don't you come around? Why don't you come around?
All right, right back at it because there's so much to do in so little time, and I really need to catch up on all this so we can continue with everything else. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the pseudo snort report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully the videos haven't been too encumbering. And yet again, I got to catch up. And I told you guys that I had 4 guaranteed projects for you. So we're going to get into that. So we have the Vest Celebration, or Vestival 3.0 Celebration, parts 1 and 2. I'm going to split those up. So this is going to be part 1 of that. Let's see here. Updates on me and ideas for streaming improvements moving forward. This is from July 24th of 2020, our current year of gout, from the DSPGaming YouTube channel, for whatever the hell that's worth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this celebration over a bunch, it should be called Vestival. The reason why is because you have a bunch of vegetables giving another fucking vegetable money to put a vest on each and every day. That's really what it comes down to. And as funny as it is, it's also rather sad. Let's be serious for a minute. It's rather sad that we're seeing a bunch of people who are being conned by a con man, right? To give him money to put clothes on. To give him money to put clothes on. That's all this whole vest bullshit is. They're giving him $100 to put on a dirty vest. Period. And I say it was a dirty vest, and it was a dirty vest from the moment he got it, because he had it down in a closet for years. Never wore the damn thing. It was down there for years collecting dust and God knows, dust mites and everything else. And then he decides to throw it on and actually decided to use it because he found out a way to convince people to give him money for it. And if it wasn't for the vest streak, right, his tip goals would have flatlined at this point. His tip goals were not hitting. You know what I mean? If you guys think about before the vest streak, he used to have whole streams. We're talking about whole day streaming, I should say, where he might make $50 in tips. Yeah, he'd still get his bits and he would still get his subs. But when you're talking about direct tips, it's been a long time since he's hit something consistent. And it's never been as good as this. And yet he's still figuring out a way to fuck it up to this very day. But why is it not a crime that you could have this obvious con man ripping off these man babies, these wheelchair symbols for profit? How is that not wrong? He has the nerve to say that, oh, people like the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics make fun of me and they ruin my life and they're all assholes and they should go to jail and this, that, and the third and yada, 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 or the white coats need to come get them. You fucking take advantage of disabled people. You legit take advantage of disabled people. And you're mad because people call you out on it? How long did you take advantage of Sidella? That's why I call you Dark Geppetto. Because you're legit fucking Geppetto going ahead and manipulating all these fucking wheelchair symbols on fucking strings and shit like they goddamn puppets, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting that you're allowed to do that. Not just on YouTube, but on Twitch. But yet other people should go ahead and get in trouble, go to jail, get deplatformed, have their channels taken down, have their videos taken down because they point that shit out. And this vest celebration is just the culmination of a failure of a person. He was a failure in real life. He was a failure in the FGC. He was a failure as a YouTuber. He is a failure as a Twitch streamer. And this is the only thing that he has going for him. That he was able to convince a group of people in 4 months to give him $20,000 to exist and put a goddamn vest on. And you know he's pissed off about it. He would rather have the $200 a day and not have to do anything extra. You could tell. That's why he's getting bitchy and complaining about that whole vest streak thing in the first place. Anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go ahead and get into this silly shit. I've got way more to say. Trust me. I've got way more to say. But let's go ahead and just get into the nonsense. Let's start the ball off. I'll catch you guys in a minute. Oh my god.
Anything you wanna sing about, just sing it on out now, sing it on out. Let the world know what life's all about. Around, why don't you around, why don't you around, why don't you around, around, why don't you around, why don't you.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day, an unprecedented day. Today is the 200 vest streak celebration. Ladies and gents, you know, I just realized
It was fucking con, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're here for Vestival 3.0 Celebration Part 1. Updates on me and ideas for the stream improvements moving forward. This is from July 24th of 2020, our current year of gout. Hopefully you guys have brought your appetite, because let's start cutting this shit up. First things first, as it pertains to updates on him, what? Oh, things are going incredibly positive, the best it's ever been. I hope we can keep it going forward so I can what? Pay my taxes? So what? I can pay my back taxes? So what? So I can finally go ahead and take care of that shit, that condo situation in Connecticut before I get fucking sued by mid-first and then really get fucked? What? What do you have plans to do with that money, Phil? Are you going to go ahead and invest in fucking WWE champions? Like, actually invest? Become an actual shareholder or some shit? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to better yourself? Oh, you're going to look on going on vacation with Kat? Is that what we're going to set up for, buddy? Anyway, that's enough about him. Let's talk about the stream improvements moving forward. He's not going to improve jack shit. He's not going to improve jack shit. First off, everything that you see in front of his ass now, for the most part. The mic, pop filter, the mic stand, the soundproofing, the mixer, all that stuff was paid by Patreon, if I remember correctly. My lore serves me correct. That was all Patreon money. Okay? Patreon money. He conned people from Patreon to make that shit happen. Let's see here. The PS4 Pro was donated. The Nintendo Switch was donated. So that means, at least with the Nintendo Switch, the $300 he initially spent for it, he got that back and convinced someone else to get him another one. Let's see, what else? The big screen TV, someone else sent him the money for it, but then if you go back a little further, or if you end up fast forwarding a little bit, he admits that he actually bought it himself. Semantics. So he's basically convinced people to buy everything he needs for his business. I don't believe that he's going to buy those new consoles. He's going to put it on the Amazon wish list, or someone behind the scenes will buy it for him. I don't believe that he's going to invest money in anything that's going to make his streams better, because he's always complained about everything he does is fine the way he is. He's not trying to be like bigger streamers and have all the glitz and all that bullshit. He just wants to sit down, play games, and have fun. If he goes ahead and actually updates himself to where the basic streamers are at right now, he would literally be a hypocrite with everything he does. Now, most of you are already going to say, GTG, you already know he's a hypocrite. You already know he's going to do all this bullshit. You followed him long enough to know this bullshit. So what's the big deal? The big deal, ladies and gentlemen, is that when people start to attack him for being a clown, which is what he is now, and that he goes and he legit tries to have the Dr. Disrespect or Ninja or Tim the Tatman setups and everything like that, and yet he still fails, what's going to be his excuse then? What would be his excuse then? He used the setup and how those individuals act with their fan bases, as that would be a detriment to how honest and legit he is, right? A detriment to him. If you give him all those things now and it still don't work, then what is he going to blame? So, and he's going to blame himself or he's going to blame his audience? He's going to blame his audience because he's going to say that, hey, you guys always wanted me to do this. Now I did it. I used the money that you guys were so supportive of to buy this stuff and nothing got better. And all he's going to do is have the same small ass group of people giving him large sums of money and he's never going to grow. But then in truth, he doesn't even want to grow because he's scared of people. He likes having the smaller streams with the small number of wheelchair symbols instead of large crowds because that's too many people that he don't know with different opinions that he ain't trying to hear or he's not going to understand. That's going to make him look even more ignorant than he already is. It's only going to hurt him in the long run. And more importantly than that, all of that improvement shit is a lie. And let's talk about that real quick. Even though we're not to that segment yet, I'm going to preface you guys a little bit. Think of it as, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so let's just go ahead and say that I'm behind the bar. And I'm going ahead and serving up drinks. Hard snort, gin and tonic, toxic flavor, you never waver. Ladies and gentlemen, this idiot right here is completely and totally built on false promises. False expectations. False bravado. One of the main falters of Darkside Phil is he tries to sell people on the idea that things will get better, and he has all these grandiose ideas and he never comes through with them. Ever. He's a minimalist. He's a minimalist to some degree because he wants to do the minimum amount possible and get the maximum gain out of it. We all know this. It's a meme. The thing is, though, is it's a little bit more deep-seated than that. At the end of the day, when Darkside Phil looks at content creation and he looks at streaming, he looks at it as it's too much. It's too much for him to do, and to be honest, he doesn't respect the audience, he doesn't respect the platform, and he doesn't respect the profession, if you will, enough to give it the respect it deserves. And in turn, by giving it the respect, putting in the work ethic, you know what I'm saying, and trying to bring the best out of himself, so in turn, he can bring the best out of his audience, and in turn, possibly turning it into a profitable situation. He's not going to do that. He doesn't feel the need to. At the end of the day, Phil doesn't want you to be invested in the streams. He wants you to be invested in him. So in turn, all this extra shit with the streams shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter that the audio quality is garbage. It shouldn't matter that the visuals are garbage. It shouldn't matter to you that the gameplay is garbage. You're supposed to be only invested in him. Now, the thing is Phil's realizing that he's a fucking dinosaur, despite people have been calling him that for over a decade. To be honest with you, big ups to either Chris or Teo. Fuck it, big ups to Chris and Teo for that one. But for people calling him a dinosaur. Because he is. Or is it Chris or Teo that call him a dinosaur? Or was that something Lord? It doesn't matter. But the point is whoever coined that said that he was a fucking dinosaur, he's a fucking dinosaur. In either case, I felt like that was Chris or Teo that called him that, though. You know me, I'm a rabid dog about this shit. I gotta hold on to it. In any case, he's now wanting to catch up. He doesn't want to catch up. He just wants to have nice shit like other people have nice shit. And he's not going to be able to utilize it properly. He's not going to understand it. He's going to run it to the bare fucking minimum. It doesn't matter. It really don't. And then at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, there's still some financial factors that still come into this equation. You guys want me to continue to preface you guys? We're still pre-gaming it? Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened to him grabbing the equity out of his home and use that to cover his debts? Essentially, he was going to go ahead and try to borrow from the equity in his home to take care of the credit cards. We don't have to do that now because he ain't sat there and conned the government to let him go. Or the banks, anyway, to let him go on that shit. But now, he's got like all that money that he's going to owe to MidFirst Bank over the foreclosure. And he's not, and more than likely, he's probably not going to beat that, but we'll see. But more than likely, he's not going to beat that. But so, where's that money going to come from? Mommy and daddy? Possibly. That's a good idea. Is it possible that he's saving up Vestreak money for it? It's possible. Highly unlikely. WWE Champions is too busy chapping his ass, but it's a possibility. So where's the money going to come from? He's not going to do a major fundraiser. He can't risk that. He can't risk separating the fucking cult into doing one big-ass fundraiser to take care of MidFirst Bank and still get the Vest goal hit twice a day, every day. So what's going to happen there? With that being said, let me bring up another thing to you. When he won the bankruptcy, right? That means all of those credit card payments, 13 or 14 in all, excuse me a second, 13 or 14 credit card payments in all just immediately got wiped off the board. Where's that money at? Let's talk about something else real quick. He hasn't made a payment to the condo since what? April of 2009? When him and Catherine got married? So where's the $1,500 a month from that? Think about it. We haven't been paying a mortgage payment or property taxes over there or any of the other milks and crannies that came out of that Connecticut condo. For at least the mortgage hasn't been paid since April of 2019 or last year. I think he said he was forced to pay all the other stuff off until he did the bankruptcy, which was in October of 2019. So basically from April, that $1,500 a month that was supposed to go to paying the condo, where's that at? And then where's all the additional money that he used to have to throw to the credit card companies to keep them at bay? Now he doesn't have to do that anymore. Where's that money at? Where is all of this money that he used to pay as part of his monthly bills? Anybody thought about that? Because now it makes you believe that he is stockpiling something. I'm not saying Cayman Islands, all that stupid shit. What I'm saying is that he's obviously stocking money up. Whether he's going to use that to settle with Mid-First or not, who could say? But he's obviously doing something. And this money right here from the Vest Streak is only helping to contribute it. It's almost like a second income. It's almost like YouTube and Twitch and then the Vest Streak. Now, most of you be like, oh, well, what about Patreon? Patreon, you could theoretically lop into YouTube, and it's only like $400 a month anyway. He's probably pulling 24 to like 30,000 a year off YouTube anyway, maybe. And if you remove the Vest Streak and his begging off Twitch, he's pulling what, 6 or 7,000 a month, maybe. If you remove the Vest Streak, out of the way, and all the tips pretty much go to the Vest Streak, so it's probably only like 6 or 7,000. Could be a little more, a little less. There's a bunch of smart guys on Kiwi Farms and Detractor Twitter that can give you exact numbers. So even when you break all of that down, the additional money that he had to spend on all these bills and on all these credit cards that allegedly he didn't have, and he was using those minute tips, those $50 or $60 a day that he was able to squeeze out of them to go towards that, where is that money at now? Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and close this up and actually get back to the video. He's made $20,000 up to this point. Now, at the time I'm recording this, he's made so much more. But at this point, where the video's at, he's made $20K. We couldn't afford a new tower. We couldn't afford a new laptop. How? Why? We couldn't afford a $60 green screen. Why? Something to think about.
Probably one of the very few times you've actually seen my little noisemaker on stream. I've had this for years and years and years, and I use it every once in a while. You're probably like, what is it? Little sound effects box that I use very rarely, but when I do, that's what it is. It's right there.
First off, why the fuck do you have that sound box? Two, why isn't it that you haven't just downloaded that sound clip or those sound clips respectfully off YouTube, which you can do, and then just upload them or just push, or basically just copy paste them over onto OBS? And then you can prompt that whenever the fuck you want. Why are we using a dollar store fucking sound box as a gimmick to do that? Why is it that this Mr. Potato Head looking motherfucker has to go clown mode to do celebrations for kids? But I thought he wasn't a children's entertainer. And I thought we bash other content creators for doing gimmicks like this. They don't fucking hold sound boxes up to their fucking microphone. The fuck? And then, oh, I have this, I've had it for years, but I use it very rarely. What's that do? Make you any less of a clown? That just makes you a lazy clown. That's what it does. It doesn't make you less of a clown. It just makes you lazy.
So, first of all, guys, welcome. I'm already wearing a vest. Why? Because this is a celebration. We have hit 200 straight streams where I have hit a tips goal and worn a vest in celebration. This was your idea that started way back when in February, when I did a retrospective special marathon at the end of the month, and you guys saw an old video of me sitting on my couch in Connecticut wearing this vest. And people were like, what is that vest? So I went and found it in my closet downstairs, put it on, and you guys were like, wow, that's cool that Phil still has the vest from like 10 years ago, right? So, fast forward to March, and in March, we were doing various different streams, and during one Minecraft stream, we hit the Tips goal, and you guys were like, oh, do a celebratory, you guys just asked me to do stupid stuff like dab and stuff like that, and then someone was like, why don't you just put on the vest, because that would be cool if maybe you put on the vest if you hit a tier 1
and you actually did it. And when there's a couple of times, though, when Swaggins, I know, asked for it, and he didn't do it. Matter of fact, wasn't Swaggins supposed to come through with like 100,000 bit cheer or some shit around the holidays or something? It was something crazy. It was something crazy that he was supposed to come up with, and he never did it. Anybody remember that? Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
There's a tier 2 Tips goal. You put on a cowboy hat. I was like, that's kind of silly and stupid.
Even though you wear that
hell?
same dirty hat for Axe the King, or Axe the Pig, I should say. But you thought putting on the gunner glasses was less stupid? Okay.
Also, I did. I ended up hitting the Tips goal that night, and I put on the vest. And ever since that night, 4 months ago, every time
Are you going to cry again like you did during the last celebration? Because I saw you wiping your eyes and shit. We all saw that. Do you have another fan letter that I can ridicule? I'd love to do that. You know, Phil, you remember that, right? Fan request ridicule. We used to do that a lot. You know, I'm just saying. I know I'm prefacing this a little bit because I haven't actually watched it, but I'm hoping for it.
Tips goal, and I put on a vest in celebration. Now, there's been some weird variations. For one point, I was putting on the cowboy hat as a tier 2 Tips goal. I stopped doing that because that was way too intrusive to gameplay. I mean, how do I wear the cowboy hat and wear?
That's actually not true. The reason why he stopped doing the cowboy hat because he said he was sweating too much. He tried to keep saying, "Oh, I can't hear with my headset. I can't hear with my headset." His hearing is already garbage anyway. It's just like his vision. So, and sound never really helps Phil. He still fails. So you wearing headphones really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. Just like how you used to say back in the day, Phil, which, yet again, another example of you being a hypocrite.
So then I started putting on the gunner glasses as a tier 2 Tips goal, and that's currently where we are with what we do for that. But thank you guys for the
Look at his scrawny little T-Rex arms. Yeah, they're not like super, super small, but they're really fucking skinny and shit. That's a shame. Jesus Christ, Phil. If you actually got into a fight with anybody at the mall, you're fucked. You do realize that, right? If someone legit wanted to come through and hit and try to go ahead and run game on Cat, if she don't object, you're going to be asked out. You're just going to be cucking it. I mean, then again, if you look at him now, he does look like Mr. Potato Head who got cucked. So I guess that would be a thing. It's in his nature, I suppose.
Positive support that you've given me over the last 4 months. This year, things are on a turnaround for me. And I mean that. Like, if things keep going the way they're going with the positivity and support I'm getting, by the end of this year, things could actually, like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
This shows how retarded you are. You really think that this gimmick is going to make it throughout the entire year. If that's the case, you really think it's going to make it to the next year? Do you think it's going to make it throughout that entire next year? Do you think it's going to make it to 2020? Do you really think this is going to be the new thing? Because you kind of thought the same way with King Tut. We all remember how that worked out. You're a fucking idiot, dude. You're not going to be able to live off fanfare forever. And even if you have people out there that are only giving you money to spite detractors, how much do you think detractors give a shit about that? The more they keep you going, it's just more to laugh at, to be honest. Because I'm okay with seeing them damn near go broke like Brightside Viking did. I'm okay with that if that's really how they want to go about it. Sure. Sure, buddy. Go ahead. Give them your life savings. Give them the money that you've been saving for your new car. Go ahead and pull a Derek, not with the whole pedo shit on the playlist on YouTube or anything, but go ahead and give him everything that you can from mommy and daddy and shit. Spend your fucking college money if you have to. You know what I'm saying? Spend the money that you were saving up for a nice house or even a nice condo. Go ahead and blow every last cent you have thinking that you're spiting the detractor community. Go ahead. Go ahead. I won't stop you. Consider that a quote from me. Do that. Spend all of your money on this fucking idiot right here. He's lived for 38 years and he's failed every day he drew breath. And now you want to go ahead and be right there with him? You want to go ahead and set yourselves back by years to help this fuck up? Go ahead. Go ahead. And I'll clap for you every time you tip. No problem. I won't lose a wink of sleep. But when this asshole comes up with another false flag fucking begging reason and he needs more money from you guys, I'm going to be sitting right there waiting, being like, better go ahead and grab mommy's credit card. I hear grandma's sick. You might want to go ahead and grab some of her credit cards. You know how to write a check, right? You might want to go ahead and steal some checks, buddy. You might want to make that happen. Phil needs your help. He needs your help. Oh, don't worry about the $20,000 you guys gave him 4 or 5 months ago. He needs your help right now. Don't you hear the emergency snorts? You better make that shit happen, buddy. And he's going to bleed you guys. And I'm going to laugh at him that he bled you guys. I'm not going to lose nothing over that. No one will. Only you. This whole, oh, it's us versus the detractors? Nobody. Nobody. If you want to throw yourself into the fray, I'll cut you up just like I cut him up. But in actuality, he's my prime objective. I don't give a fuck about the rest of y'all. I don't. You guys are collateral damage to me. Collateral damage. I don't give a shit. The only ones of you, the only person out of the rest of y'all that I give a shit about, I don't even care. I'm cool with MILF and Cookies. Our relationship's great. I already won that. So with that being said, the rest of y'all are obsolete. You're not even important. I put you guys out on the fucking porch with swaggins just like Phil does. I don't care. So give this idiot all of your money. Sink your money into this endless, bottomless pit of fucking gout and disappointment, right? And I'll laugh at you guys all day. It's cool. Because all you guys are proving is the exact same shit I used to say about Phil. That maybe, just maybe, your mother was better off swallowing.
Years of having financial distress behind the scenes and everything, things are actually like starting to flip towards the positive, and this is really good. We're actually going to talk a little bit in a minute about the future and some plans I have for the future and things that we can maybe improve as a result of things getting so much better for me. If
here comes the fake con job, because now, hey guys, the money's been great. Keep giving me this money so I can give you guys this false sense of security that in the future things are going to get better. This is like some crazy type of abusive relationship, except for he's not putting the hooves to these people's faces. He's basically mentally fucking them, saying that things will get better, guys. I'll be there with those other streamers that you guys watch that you guys shouldn't be watching. You should only be watching me. But I'm going to eventually get up there to where those guys are at. Just keep giving me more money, and eventually we'll get there. Eventually, we're going to go ahead and ascend Snort Olympus, right, to the promised land. I promise you. It's just one more hurdle. It's just one more hump. No, not Panda, not Cat, just one more hump we need to get over, and then things are going to get right. Things are going to be cool. Things are going to be good. He keeps feeding these idiots this, and they keep believing it. This isn't like you guys are throwing some time away on his videos or on his streams. You guys are throwing money at him. One of the most important the most important currency that you have in life is money. Or, well, is time, actually. Because with time, you can make money, obviously. So you guys are already giving him that out of some pathetic and false loyalty. Or misplaced loyalty. A little bit of both. A little bit of all three, actually. But now, you guys are going to throw your hard-earned money at him. How much longer do you think he's going to stream? Jesus Christ, given his health just at face value, how much longer do you think he'll even be around? If Darkside Phil craps out tomorrow, what about y'all? And when I say this, I'm talking to Phil's fan base in general. You guys still got your whole lives ahead of you, at least some of you. At least some of you. What the fuck are you doing wasting your time with this shit for?
This way. All right.
What I'm saying is this idiot made his mistakes. He's made his blunders. You don't owe him anything. You don't have to pay for his mistakes. Especially since he's going to keep making them. He's a fucking addict. He's a fucking addict. He's going to go ahead and drink himself stupid, and he's going to fucking keep throwing his money away on WWE champions. He's never going to learn. He's never going to change because he doesn't want to change. There are plenty of people who wake up and realize, I don't want to do this anymore. Phil isn't that. He can go ahead and try to keep his demons at bay for as long as he can, but he's not going to win like that. He isn't winning now. Winners don't need to go through bankruptcy. And then he sat there and tried to feed it to you idiots that, oh, we won the bankruptcy, we're winning over the detractors. How? How?
First of all, guys, wow. Never expected it. You remember when we did the first 100 Vest celebration 2 months ago. And at that point, I was like, wow, we're going to do all these special things. We're going to bring back DSP Tries It. We're going to do all this. But I said during that
even though you had shitted on DSP Tries It prior to that, when people wanted you to do it as a sub goal, which is hypocritical as fuck, now that I think about it, because he would have actually made... No, the Vest Streak would have actually been more money for a DSP Tries It than if they had done a sub goal. Never mind. Never mind. I was almost going to try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it was actually going to be cheaper. If he would be selling himself cheap, oink oink, if he had done it through the sub goal than if he had done what the Vest goal is. Alright, well, I tried to help you guys.
At the beginning, I said, I feel this is the end. I feel that this was a really positive thing that you guys came out of the woodwork to support me for like 2 months. But 100 was really the milestone. That's what everyone pushes towards. 100 is very momentous. You want to do something to 100 because that means something. But then I was like, I really get the feeling that's kind of the end of it. That once we hit 100, that you're going to see we're not going to hit the Vest goal anymore. And that's okay. Because at that point, I got so much support. I'm like, how could I be negative about it?
You're negative about it every fucking day. Oh, we don't hit this Vest Streak, guys. All the time goes to waste. Hey, guys, I'm okay if the Vest Streak does end, but, man, you guys have been so supportive, and I have all these future plans for you. Like, for example, the next Vest celebration. Oh, I'm thinking about, I have another thing to unveil to you guys. He always does that. He's been doing that throughout the whole life of the fucking Vest Streak. Especially when it starts to slow down. Because when it slows down, then that's usually when the Vest celebration halfway point is announced. Hey guys, we're at 225. I'm just throwing out a random number. We're at 225. We're almost at 250, and that's Vest celebration. And I got all this stuff lined up for you guys. And, excuse me, I have something that I'm going to unveil. You know what I'm saying? We're almost there. Just $2,500 more dollars, and we'll almost be at that point. Don't give up now. Or, hey guys, we got an hour left on stream, and we only got like $10, and if you guys want to keep the Vest Streak going, I'm gonna need you guys to step up and donate, man. I mean, remember, this is something that you guys started. You guys wanted this, and if you guys wanted to keep going, you should go ahead and do it. I don't want you guys to take it for granted, because look at how far we've come. And then that other bullshit about, oh, this vest is supposed to be a symbol? A symbol of perseverance? Over all the people who laugh at us and ridicule us? What? Perseverance? Alright. Okay.
It hasn't been easy. There have been some streams where we're down to the last 10 minutes of the stream, and we're actually really far from hitting the tips goal, and I just announced, all right, guys, I'm sorry. Looks like that's the end of the streak. I'm very happy with how things went, and your level of support has been outstandingly, amazingly positive. No complaints from me. Thanks, and...
really? Because you said we're at the last 10 minutes? What about when we were at the 20-minute mark? What about when we were at the 40-minute mark? What about when we were at the hour and 20 mark, and there was only $5 of donations at that point? What about all of that? Oh, we're just going to disregard that part, though, right? We're just going to leave that out. Okay, I got you. No problem. My bad.
Positively in the future, and then all of a sudden, someone will come out of the woodwork out of nowhere, and boom, a big contribution comes in, and next thing you know, we hit the Vest goal, and it continues. So, admittedly, with as close as it's come to ending, many times, all right, I am super excited that it continues. And obviously, if it continues even further, which I don't know, again, I remain skeptical. Every day I say, man, I really feel that this could be the final day for the Vest Streak. Today, right now, this stream could be the last stream for the Vest Streak. Tonight, I'm playing old school.
And that's the worst thing to be doing, idiot. Because why would you want to go ahead and sow doubt? Think about that for a minute. Why would you want to sow doubt into people like legit sow? Why would you want to legit sow doubt into a group of people that have brought you this far so far? Why would you do that? Like, is that supposed to be like a false positive? Is that supposed to like continue to motivate them? Because eventually, right? People are just going to start getting to the point where, well, you know what? If Phil thinks it's going to just go ahead and end today anyway, then why the fuck would I throw money at it? Most of them are probably like, let's start over. Because then they can dictate better terms, which if you guys are listening, maybe you should. Maybe you should let it die out. Maybe you should let whoever that big whale is, because apparently it might only be one guy, but I think it's actually like 4 or 5. But let those guys keep going ahead and saving that shit at the last fucking hour, night in, night out, until they're exhausted all their funds, and then you can force Phil to start over. And then you can actually dictate terms, and he'll have no choice but to deal with it. Maybe that's the way to go about it. And some of you guys are actually trying to do that, except for the fact that that individual or those group of individuals swoop in at the very last second. Then don't give him anything. Don't donate anything. And that, like, for example, the chill stream, the night stream, or whatever. Don't donate anything to him. And let his ass go an hour with like $2 in tips. And watch how his ass scramble. Let him do it. He's already fucking the YouTube content up. The YouTube content's been fucked up. It's been garbage. So you guys don't have to give a fuck about that. So bleed his ass. And let him bleed everybody else. And then see how it really goes. And then when it finally fails, and he's finally defeated, let him know, hey Phil, remember, you thought it was going to, every day you believe the vest streak is going to end anyway, right, guy? Don't worry, Phil. We'll start over. We'll rebuild. And watch how quickly he vents on your asses. Just saying.
That could be the last stream for the vest streak, okay? But I kind of want to feel more positive about it. This is the first time in a long time, and this is being opening up to you guys and being honest.
Yeah, like you know anything about being honest. So now you're going to wait until the 200 vest streak to now say, not even 200, sorry. Yeah, 200. Sorry. Yeah, so now you want to wait until after $20,000 to now start being positive about it? We couldn't be positive after 5,000? We couldn't be positive after 12,000? No, we waited till we were positive after $20,000. Okay. Sure, okay. It's the greed. The greed! It's massively strong.
Time. I could go to sleep now, and I don't have to worry about waking up in the morning and checking my phone and seeing messages saying that my bank account was overdrafted and a bunch of bills didn't get paid. And now I'm in jeopardy of not only having threats against me, but having things turned off and stuff. This year has been...
So this loser is who you guys choose to defend. This is who people decide to rally around. This lazy son of a bitch who can't even have his own finances taken care of. He can't do it on his own. And this is who runs around and keeps telling you guys, oh, don't listen to those detractors. They're just mad at me because I'm successful. How? How? I had never heard about what an overdraft was until I actually looked it up. I don't know anybody who has overdraft problems. I don't know people who don't. I don't associate with people who don't know how to handle their money. And that's not being braggadocious. That's just, I apparently had good parents. I apparently am cool with people who had good parents. What the fuck? Now, outside of like some out of reach type situation, like some shit where you just got hit with massive bad luck, your car broke down, or you know what I'm saying, you just whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying, shit happens, right? Realistically. Outside of those situations, tell me why this 38-year-old man who had been making 6 figures anyway can't beat some overdrafts. Tell me how that's a thing. And he makes 6 figures a year. How does that happen? And he has the nerve to sit here and say he's successful. Yet he's telling you now that he's nothing more than a broke bitch, and $200 a day is what's saving his ass. I want you to think about that. $200 a day is what's saving him? That right there is the teeter of whether he's successful or not? Really? Really?
Way better for me in that regard. Like, your support and other things going on behind the scenes, I mean, have really turned things around for me in a very positive way. And because of that, now instead of saying, man, I don't even know if I can day-to-day pay my stuff, I can now start to look forward and say, maybe
And I
start
know you're lying. And one of the reasons why, ladies and gentlemen, is he's not looking directly at the camera. We're sitting here looking side to side doing this bug eye bullshit. We're looking up and everywhere instead of in the face of the very people who gave him $20,000. Anybody notice that in the last minute or two? It's probably longer than that because of the way I talk. Or how long I talk. Which is the way I talk. Does anybody notice that? Let's continue.
Positive things, fun things, improvements to the stream, and positive improvements for my life here that I haven't even been able to consider in the foggiest in the past. Okay? And that's, I gotta say again, thank you all for that. As much as you say, well, Phil, you declared bankruptcy, that's a terrible thing. You're right. I have no credit for 7 to 10 years. At the same time,
you don't deserve credit. And you're going to fuck that credit up as soon as you get back anyway. So, 48-year-old Phil is going to end up making the same mistakes as 38-year-old Phil. And you guys want to know why that is? Because 10 plus years ago, when he was chasing that, when he was trying to chase that Evo win, right? He made the same mistake then too. He ran up his credit cards chasing the FGC. He sat there and ran his ass into debt trying to chase the FGC and trying to chase an Evo win and failed. Then came to YouTube, sucked off the right people, got himself out of debt, went back into debt when YouTube failed and he didn't want to give up his lifestyle the way he was living, right? And now resorting to begging to try to get himself back out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have acknowledged, not that I've acknowledged, but I've mentioned that there are people who want to give Phil some type of credit and or credence to some of his FGC know-how, if you will. You know what I mean? He's competent at what he does, right? He may even be better than average, well, or above average, if you will. If so being the case, when it comes to his FGC know-how, fair enough. Then why can't he bring it together? He can't bring it together now. Do you really think he was able to bring it together 10 years ago? He didn't. That's why we boasted about taking fourth at Evo for 10 plus years. Just saying. Not even 10 plus years. Fucking 15 years. For 15 goddamn years, this fucking loser boasted about being 4th place at Evo 2005. Number 1 ranked. If he had such skills and know-how, where'd it go? And now, he runs from everybody. He runs from Jose. Big ups to Jose. He runs from Goji Tanks, a.k.a. Goji, a.k.a. motherfucker, you don't want no smoke with me. Big ups to Goji. And he runs from the King of Kings, Evil AJ. He runs like some scorned bitch. But I thought he had all this skill and this know-how. Where is it? Where is it? Don't feed into the pignosis. If he was as good as he said he was, why can't he demonstrate it? Why are we always searching for scrubs? Why are we looking for scraps like a fucking vulture? Why can't we go out there for big game? Just saying. Yeah, you can go ahead and scrounge up a bunch of scrubs and turn it into a meal. Or you can go out there and you can go hunting for it. And you got to be willing to bleed to do that. And he can't. So a man who was weak mentally, more often than not, is weak physically. And maybe, just maybe, trying to give him extra concessions, giving him a crutch, is one of the reasons why he's at where he's at. Just want to throw that out there. Just saying.
Your support in the last many months is good, getting me to a point where now it looks like I will be able to hopefully get caught up with other things like my back taxes and things and get on plans and things that I need to qualify for. And then I can say,
eyes darting everywhere. Can't just look straight at the camera. Eyes all over the place.
Launch later this year. Man, I want to improve the streams, and I can look towards those things rather than always saying, can't do it, I have no money. Can't do it, I have no money. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving me that light of hope and of improvement, of positive things coming in the future. I haven't really had that. You know, not to say the last few years haven't been positive. Like I said, I'm getting married and stuff. It's been insanely amazing. At the same time,
You mean lying about that marriage? And wait a second, didn't you just cry about some silly shit in the last Vest Streak? Talking about how you haven't had the easiest life and how shit's been so hard for you? But now at the 20,000 mark, though, we're feeling better. Okay, I was wondering.
Dread, that fear, that anxiety in the back of my head that something's going to go wrong, that things are going to not work out, and now actually things look like they may. That's awesome. So thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you. Really.
This it's so disingenuous, but all right.
Okay. Today we have a lot planned. We have a lot going on today's stream, including some stuff I want to talk about in this very first segment about myself, my private life, as well as the future of my stream, some plans I have, things that I want to do. Q&A.
In Phil's book, though, a plan is just a list of things that he has no ambition to ever get done. Let's be honest. That's what plans are in the world of Galtopia. It's just a list of things that'll never get done.
You guys ask me questions, and we're gonna have a little bit of that. Live DSP tries it.
One could accuse me of that too, to be honest, because my backlog is fucking huge. And if you guys even remotely saw the amount of videos that are in the goddamn vault, oh god. But eventually it comes out, just super fucking late. But that's part of the motto, so it is what it is.
1 hour from now, the food should be delivered for the live DSP tries it episode. If you guys want to see a second live DSP tries it later on in the show, we may do that as well, but it depends more on you than me. Actually, now I'm wearing the vest. I'm going to turn my air conditioner on higher because I'm starting to get hot.
Actually, that's an interesting point. When it starts to get cold out, or cool, I should say, how will the vest streak work then? Because theoretically, wouldn't it be best to sweat his bitch ass out? Or, well, I guess freeze, if you will. But wouldn't it be best to legit hold out on the vest streaks when it's cooler? And whatnot, to see how he plays it next? Because he's not going to put the vest on just to put it on. He's going to want to get paid for it. But they could legit force him to wait till the last minute. And you got to think, those mornings in Seattle get a bit nippy. I guess we'll have to see how that plays out.
A game schedule update. We're finally, for the first time this year, we're going to sit down and look at the gaming schedule for the rest of 2020, because now we're finally getting an idea of when games are coming out. You know, this whole coronavirus thing this year, holy shit, did this screw everything up in the world? But a content creator like me that relies on the release of video games, I haven't known what I was going to be doing.
You mean that Nothing Burger that you were talking about? Speaking of which, a content creator that depends on new releases. I thought you depend on crowdfunding. I thought it doesn't matter about what games you play. And matter of fact, you have the freedom to play the games that you want, since you don't have to worry about ad revenue or anything anymore. With crowdfunding, you can do whatever you want. Isn't that one of the sales pitches? Isn't that one of the talking snorts when it comes to crowdfunding? I'm just asking. I'm just looking for some clarification.
Last 3-4 months, I was always just like, by the seat of my pants, playing it by ear and just adjusting on the fly. Now, finally, today, we're going to sit down together and look at the game schedule releases coming out.
Wait,
for the next
how are you going by the seat of your pants and adjusting on the fly when you had people sending you game codes, you had people buying games for you off of your Amazon wish list, you had influencer copies sent to you, and with one particular game that I can think of, you got paid between $550 and $750 to play that game. Yikes.
Once to the end of the year,
it was like $550, $575, I think.
Map of what's going to happen, so you'll know what's going on my streams, and I'll be able to kind of plan out, this is what's happening each week, month, and we can even fit in viewers' choice playthroughs and stuff. We're going to do all that today on the stream, which is really awesome. Jasper, my cat, will be making an appearance. He's been on the last 2 Vest Celebration streams. We really like seeing him on stream and seeing him play around. We'll have some toys in here he can play with. And on top of all that, whatever else we have time for, if we have time to maybe go and look at some of the music videos from my 12-year history, and I can do some commentary over those. We'll do that. If we want some chill gameplay, maybe I'll boot up Animal Crossing later. I don't know, man. We'll see, okay?
But I thought we had so much planned. It sounds like we don't have an idea of what to do at all. I'm just asking. I'm just saying, really. To be honest, I thought we had like a whole fucking amusement park worth of shit to do today. But now it just turns down to, well, we could do this, but I don't know, man. I go, we could do this. Oh, I don't know, man. We could do that. I don't know, man. Don't sound like there's a whole lot planned at all.
But I'm super excited. And by the way, if we hit the tips goal today and the vest streak continues, I have a new vest I'll be debuting right here live on stream for you guys. All right? Fair enough? Okay. Some quick shout outs, and then I'm going to start with what I want to talk about before we get to a Q&A segment, okay? So Noah Taylor did a 100-bit cheer. He says, can't wait for Jasper on stream today and the big reveal. Have a good day. Sounds good, Noah. Ladies Man did a 1,000-bit cheer. You already had a 1,000-bit cheer, but he did another 1,000-bit cheer. Thank you, Ladies Man. He said, what's your favorite Disney movie? Mine's The Emperor's New Groove. If you're talking animated movie, all right, animated movie, then it would definitely be The Lion King, still to this day. And I've seen most of Disney's animated movies. Not everyone, admittedly, but most of them. Now, keep in mind, a lot of stuff is under the wing of Disney these days, including Marvel movies and everything. But for me, The Lion King, when I saw it in theaters as a kid, resonated. It was an interesting story, a coming-of-age story with unique plot. It wasn't a fairy tale that you had heard somewhere else. At that point, the animation was outstanding. And in fact, if you actually watch The Lion King today with HD graphics, like the HD version of the movie, it still looks amazing. It's like, wow. The visual stuff they pulled in that movie was amazing with hand-drawn artwork. That was before everything was CGI in every movie. It was hand-drawn artwork, and it was gorgeous. So I would say Lion King to this day still blows me away and is my favorite Disney movie. Golden Colts also did 70-bit cheer. Thank you, Golden Colts. Appreciate that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a few things that I would like to talk about. First of all, again, thank you for the support the last 4 months. Some of the stuff that you probably want to know about, I haven't been talking about, and I can't reveal too much legally. I can't go crazy and publicly talk about every little thing in my life. But what I can tell you is this is what's happened to me in the last several months, all right? I filed for bankruptcy because I had to. I was up to my eyeballs in debt. I couldn't afford even making minimum payments on stuff anymore. I was defaulting on a mortgage on the property that's in Connecticut, and basically everything was falling apart for me. I could barely afford anything. In the last 6 months or so, all right, many things have happened. I'm basically just going to talk about the things that are public that I can talk about. I'm not going to talk about private stuff behind the scenes that you don't know about. But essentially, my bankruptcy was granted, okay? And that's a good thing for me, even though it's a terrible thing because I have no credit right now. I have no credit at all. I will not have credit probably.
You should learn how to live off fucking credit. Or live without credit, I should say. At the end of the day. There was no reason why this numbskull was running around with 13 or 14 fucking credit cards. And the only reason why he did that is because this idiot kept doing balance transfers over and over again and whatnot to try to keep the fucking barbarians at the gate. And then got mad and said the government changed credit card regulations and interest fees, and that's what fucked him. No, idiot. What happened is the fucking introductory APR that was part of your balance transfer expired, and you came up and lied to a bunch of these idiot kids, and they bit into it hook, line, and sinker. That's what happened. That's literally what this idiot said.
7 to 10 years. No one's going to grant me any credit. So that means no credit cards, no new loans, nothing. Can't borrow any money whatsoever. Any money that I have, it's money that I have to have in my bank account to spend directly, and I'm continuing to pay loans on things like this house and my car, but outside of that, nothing. Zero. Okay? So it's
he's not destitute though, because yet again, since he's not paying the $1,500 on the condo plus all the extra fees and stuff that has to do with that, the one in Connecticut, I mean, all that money pretty much covers his mortgage now, which means the money that he was paying for his mortgage for Washington, where does that money go? All the money that he was using to spend on his credit card payments, despite the fact that he could barely make the monthly payments, as he's telling you. Where's all that money now? That money's off the board. He was able to pay his mortgage payment for the Washington Snort Fort and for the car downstairs, maybe the other one if there is a second one. He was able to cover all that just fine. It's all these extra obligations that are gone. Where's the money that used to go there? Where's all that money now? That's what we're waiting for.
It's a blessing because all that debt that was looming over my head that was killing me, and you know, you guys saw it for years and years. You guys saw it in my face and my way that I talked about stuff, reactions, that I didn't even know how I was going to make ends meet. And it was
why didn't you curb your spending, idiot? That's what it comes down to. He looks like a fucking drunk there because he is a fucking drunk. That's gonna be a good screenshot, by the way. That's gonna make a great screenshot. Why the fuck didn't you just curb your spending? That's what it came down to. You wouldn't have had all those credit cards and you wouldn't have had those business loans and all the extra bullshit if you would have just curbed your goddamn spending and lived within your means. You didn't want to do that because for whatever reason you thought shit was gonna turn around. How? The SS Gouty foot was sinking. And you were way too far out to get towed back in. You still theoretically are. Like, DSPGaming doesn't pay the bills no more. KO Gaming don't pay the bills no more. King of Hate Vlogs don't pay the bills no more. Patreon don't pay the bills no more. Teespring, What Unbox, and all the other bullshit he shilled himself out to, they don't pay the bills no more. It's not even, Twitch don't even necessarily pay the bills no more. It's the begging that carries the day. The subs and everything else and the bits are just a bonus, but it's begging that carries the day now.
I told you guys, I really need support right now for something going on. Can we do like a fundraiser stream or whatever? We would do it and you guys would support and it would help me amazingly. And then the idiots out there would say, oh, he made it up. He's rich and he's really pulling your leg and everything. And then finally when the bankruptcy became public, they were all like, oh, well, he was telling the truth the whole time. But then, of course, then they had to make up all their crazy, insane, bullshit conspiracy theories about how I had gotten to the debt that I had gotten. Even though I had told you all along how it had happened. How when I moved across the country 6 years ago, I massively overspent in the hopes that I would continue to make what I was making on YouTube. All right. And I would be able to pay off all that debt within, say, 3-4 years. And I'd be okay. The problem was I massively overspent.
The problem was that was unrealistic in general, because, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that he isn't telling you is a lot of the debt that he had moving from Connecticut to Washington. Well, just that. He carried a lot of his debt from Connecticut to Washington. And then, yet again, instead of living within his means, he sat there and took out loans to supplement his income. He sat there and went and opened up new credit cards and did bounce transfers to supplement his income, and it all collapsed on him. He was already dipping, he was already dipping in the YouTube analytics and in his views and everything. He was already dropping. You got to understand it. He was already dropping. Remember, he didn't get booted from Machinima until early 2017. He moved out there in 2014. And he was already failing. No one told his ass to move across country. He did that. No one told him to take on all those extra financial obligations. He did that. That ain't got shit to do with a fucking detractor. That's mommy and daddy not caring enough, apparently.
6 years ago. And then in 2015...
Or Phil just being an out-and-out idiot and wanting to do what he wants, because you guys know he's good for that. And he fucked himself. That's really what it comes down to. He fucked himself financially.
Revenue plummeted because of troll activities, because of false DMCA claims and me having videos.
No. When the DMCA claims and the false claims for fan art and everything, when that came in 2015, he was already fucked. In end of 2000, mid 2013, he was already dipping. It was already becoming a problem. 2014 wasn't any better, which is the reason why he reached out to Machinima before they reached out to him about contract negotiations to see if they were going to end up cutting his pay air quotes on that shit. But if they were going to cut his pay and they said no, which made him continue to go forward with the move. But what he doesn't also tell you, or some of you guys may not remember, it's okay if you don't, is that he had to go and get 3 loans. He had to go to 3 different financial institutions until one of them was willing to give him a loan for his mortgage in Washington. He had to go to 3 separate banks until someone actually was willing to take the risk on him, because they all looked at his income and said it wasn't stable enough. And Phil just looked at him as, oh, you guys are assholes, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Then look, files for bankruptcy and is in foreclosure, what, 6 years later?
Then led to my YouTube channel falling out of the search engine. My money went
You're a liar.
Here.
Let's talk about it. So one of the greatest lies in Phil's and DSP lore is that YouTube and Machinima told Phil to delete all those pre-streams that had the fan art and had that Jackie Chan and Be Awesome one flagged him for 2015. The greatest snort that this idiot ever tried to pass off is that Machinima and YouTube told him to delete those videos, and he says he has the email and he hasn't produced it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, eventually, sooner than later, now keep in mind, each one of these guys, I don't know how many they actually flagged or whatever. If I remember, they each one flagged a couple of videos each. Maybe they only did one each. Who knows? Whatever. Excuse me. Either which way, Machinima would have worked it out in some way, shape, or form to get it offsetted in some way. It's pretty obvious. I think I think Be Awesome one and Jackie Chan kind of came to terms with that. That was just there to scare them up, to scare Phil, to stir Phil up. This idiot went and deleted millions upon millions of views in videos by the hundreds in a mad panic and a mad dash, which he's admitted, and said that Machinima and YouTube were the ones who told him to do that. Here's the problem. He said that he reached out to them, Machinima, and didn't hear anything right away. That right there is what prompted him to delete the videos. And then and now this is what I think really happened. He deletes all these videos. Let's restart this. He gets hit with the false flags. He immediately goes ahead and cries the fucking Machinima. Machinima doesn't reach out to him right away. He's admitted plenty of times that Machinima wouldn't reach out to him. It'd be like a day or so later until they reach out to him, depending on when in the day that he reached out to him. So while he's worried about that, the only thing that's going through his fucking numbskull, fucking Mr. Potato Head fucking mind is that, oh shit, false flags, I'm gonna lose my channel. I can't afford to lose this, my bread and butter, and looks at what they flagged and then deletes everything that's associated with it. Bam. So that's what he does. And he probably even tried to send out a message to YouTube to find out. They probably took a day or so because, you know, he was even though he's part of the partner program, he was also over 100,000 subs. So there was an emergency hotline he could go and bitch to YouTube about. Both of them probably took a day or so to get back to him. He starts deleting shit. What ends up happening is when Machinima and YouTube respectfully reach back out to him, like, all right, Phil, why are you missing all these views? Oh, well, I got hit with copyright strikes, these false copyright claims and whatever, so I had to delete the videos. Why'd you delete the videos? I couldn't lose my channel. I couldn't lose my livelihood. Why didn't you private the videos? Can't they still hit it when it's privated? And they were like, well, all right, what's done is done then. And then they removed the false strikes, but he deleted all his videos. Because if it wasn't the case, ladies and gentlemen, why didn't the videos go back up? Think about it. If they were all false strikes and YouTube and Machinima acknowledged that, why didn't the videos go back up? Because they can't give you credit for videos that aren't there anymore. And for the longest time, the mythos was he privated those videos. The problem is there are other videos later on that corroborate with him saying that he deleted those videos. Now, tomato, as it pertains to whether they were privated or whether they were deleted. They were deleted, by the way. So, but, you know, semantics with that. The question is, why didn't the videos go back up? And because the videos didn't go back up, that's why he lost all the views. Now, let's go ahead and do a hypothetical Pignosis, our favorite game. If Phil Burnell was stuck in a situation where he could possibly lose one or two of his channels legit in 24 hours if he doesn't make a move, and he's already cried to 2 different institutes or 2 different points of authority, and neither one of them has reached him yet, what do you think Phil would do in that situation? Don't worry, I'll wait. You ready? Yeah, he's more likely going to delete those videos. I think what happened was Be Awesome 1 and Jackie Chan wanted to scare his ass. They wanted to shake him up. And so, there you go. That's when this situation happened. He immediately panics when he can't get a hold of anybody, and he just starts deleting videos. He actually has videos out there talking about this. Spent hours deleting videos. And end the story. By the time Machinima and YouTube were able to get back to him, to ask him about what was going on, the damage was already done. That's why he never produced the email. Because people have been calling him a liar and laughing at him for that shit for years, and he never produced an email, ever trying to corroborate it. He says he has it, but never showed it. Not once. Machinima's gone. Dead. YouTube don't give a fuck. What's he hiding for? What's he still protecting them for? They fucked him, right? Along with the detractors? Oh, how did YouTube and Machinima fuck over Phil, is what you're probably asking? Oh, they let the detractors fuck him. So why would he feel the need to protect them? Why don't he put the email out? Because the email don't exist. He deleted those videos because he was scared, and he fucked himself. Do I think Be Awesome 1 and I'm pretty sure Jackie Chan, do I think that's what they set out to do? No, I think they set out to scare his ass and to get back at him. But I think they did it to scare him, to be honest with you. And Phil, as usual, took it to the extreme and fucked himself. So you already have a declining channel that's even worse off by deleting millions and millions of videos with this situation. He screwed himself. He put the nail in his YouTube coffin. And then, 2 years later, he somehow, in his infinite wisdom, his Mr. Valedictorian, talked his way out of his managed partnership on Machinima. He talked his way out of that contract. Out of that deal. Out of that arrangement for 6 or 7 years or how long it was. He fucked himself right up out of that. Just saying. And based off of how he ended up getting fired from Machinima, because that's what happened, does it not make even a little bit of sense that he didn't fuck himself with the algorithm in 2015? Does that not somehow go hoof and hoof with each other? Something to think about.
To here, like half. And I was like, well, I can make minimum payments on everything, but now I can't pay anything down. And things just kept getting worse and worse over the years. I would, maybe if I take out a loan, I can help to pay this down. But now I can't pay the loan anymore. Now I find out my tax attorney screwed me over for the 4 years that I've lived here. And
that's a lie too. Right. The tax attorney thing, he's never been able to prove either. He just didn't pay the state and business occupation tax. Because how the fuck is Panda paying hers, but he's not paying his, and he's making 10 times what she's making? Probably way more than that, but you know what I mean. So that tax attorney thing doesn't tread water, because if they would fuck you on the state and business occupation tax, why didn't he fuck you on the federal either? Just saying. And if I remember correctly, don't hold me to this, the guy who did his taxes was a family friend. A friend of his parents. So why would he fuck over their kid? Because if I remember correctly, this was the same dude who was doing his taxes the whole time he was in Connecticut. And why the fuck would you use the same guy? Why would you use the same guy in Connecticut to do your taxes in the state of Washington? So that whole deal doesn't hold a lot of water either. So keep that in mind.
Now I own tens of thousands of dollars I have to pay back taxes, and it just kept compounding, and compounding. And that's the problem when you have debt like this. It's compounding interest where it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where there's no way I could pay it off anymore. So the only way out was bankruptcy, okay? So the good news is I was granted my bankruptcy. By the way, without revealing too much, because I can't reveal too much, it wasn't easy because, as you guys know, I have these idiot sociopaths who follow me around the internet and do nasty things to me. They made it a living hell for me to get my bankruptcy. All right, they did. They made it an absolute living hell for me because they were contacting parties involved to the bankruptcy behind the scenes, telling them the ridiculous and nastiest stuff you would. Phil has offshore bank accounts that he hides from everyone, and he has all this money hoarded away, and he's hiding it from you. Phil has multiple avenues of PayPal revenue, and he only
Which you
talks
did.
about one.
Which you did. Initially, you only had one PayPal account up there. Then when you did one of the mini revisals, because Kiwi Farms pointed that shit out, and you read Kiwi Farms on the regular, is when you started going ahead and adding more stuff onto the documentation. And that's the problem. That's another thing, too, that kind of hindered his bankruptcy a little bit, is he kept changing shit. When you see the initial document he filed, and then you see the final document, he's added stuff to it. Why wasn't he honest the first time? And most people be like, oh, as Nick Ricada had even said, oh, people do occasionally add stuff to it, they forget stuff, yada, yada, yada. It's possible he's doing it out of a level of maliciousness, but even then the courts will, they'll kind of give him a little bit of wiggle room, if you will. Why wasn't he just being honest the first time? Why are a lot of the changes that he ended up making on later documents coinciding with shit that Kiwi Farms said literally days before? Just something to think about. Kiwi Farms Kiwi Farms and Detractor Twitter, respectfully, actually helped him more on that fucking documentation than they hindered him.
Publicly, and he has all this other money he hoards and doesn't tell anyone, and he's hiding it from you. Phil spends ginormous amounts of money on gambling and mobile gaming, and he has investments
you haven't been able to prove yet that it's not you, and the Discord that you were using for your mods actually coincides with the same Discord that's being used in that WWE Champions. Your mods even corroborated that. Just saying. Like, the evidence on that WWE Champions WWE Champions is fucking so fucking ridiculous. Like, they legit caught you red-hooked. Like, if we knew what we knew now, more than likely back in like February, it could have been a real problem for him then. If you were willing to get somebody to listen, of course.
And he's hiding it from you. Look at these videos from 6 years ago that Phil made when he first moved to Washington. He had all this shit in his house, and this is all these assets that he has that are super valuable that he's hiding from you. I'm not kidding you.
You were the one that was running around saying, yes, I use this as a business asset. I use this is a business asset. Most of the shit that or some of the stuff he said that was a business asset, he doesn't even know where it's at. They're packed away in fucking closets, buried somewhere. Old gaming bullshit that he don't even care about, but he didn't want to have to give it up if they forced him to sell it. You're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting them.
Was the most convoluted, complicated bankruptcy case for most of the parties involved. I was directly told that by multiple parties involved in this situation. This was the most over-the-top, ludicrous case they'd ever handled, because there was so much outside involvement by these sociopaths who were just blatantly lying to try to get me in trouble and make it so that my bankruptcy would not be granted. Okay? And a process that, if everything had gone how it should have, okay, like a normal bankruptcy case that's not in the public eye with a bunch of people getting involved and trying to troll, this would have been done within like 2 months, and basically I would have been back on my feet right away, trying to rebuild everything. But instead, this process...
You're not rebuilding anything now. He's not rebuilding anything now, ladies and gentlemen. He's saying that he needs the vest streak to keep going so he can make more money so he can start rebuilding. He hasn't rebuilt jack shit yet. And in the amount of time that the bankruptcy was going on, he wasn't paying for those credit cards or any of those loans or anything like that. So he was sitting on top of that money. The money that should have been going off to financial obligations, he was pocketing that money. Because he didn't have to spend it on anything because he was going through his bankruptcy. So yet again, what the fuck is he talking about?
Over 5 months. And it cost me a lot of extra money because of this that I didn't want to spend, but I had to. And it was not
I thought
good.
you didn't have the money, though. So where does it come into, I didn't want to spend it? I thought he didn't have it. Isn't that what he's trying to tell you? Oh, I don't have any money hoarded away. I don't have any additional money in my bank account. I don't have this. I don't have that. Oh, well, I didn't want to spend any of this extra money, but I had to. I didn't want to, which means he had it, right? It was readily available. He just didn't want to spend it. But how do you spend what you don't have? You can go back to my previous point about all the obligations that financial obligations he had, and he didn't, and no one can explain where all that money vanished when he started the bankruptcy process and he didn't have to pay those things. You can just refer back to that.
Shitty situation for me because of this stuff going on, okay? So, obviously, that was a rough time. You probably noticed the first few months of this year I was really stressed out, okay? But I got through it. I toughed through it. I was diligent. I showed all the information that I needed to show to the appropriate parties. The truth of the matter came out, which that's the thing. Ultimately, the one thing that I hate is that I can't be transparent with my viewing audience all the time about this stuff. Not that you guys care. Most of you out there who watch my streams don't give a shit about my private life like this. Why do I care about Phil's fucking finances, right? But
because Phil keeps throwing his finances in your fucking face. Because the idiot keeps coming out and saying, if you guys don't tip him, he's not going to be able to get groceries. If you guys don't tip him, he's not going to be able to make his house payments. If you guys don't tip him, he's not going to be able to cover these overdraft fees. That's the reason why they're fucking invested in your financial situation, idiot. Because you put them in position to do so.
The trolling has gotten so bad with these sociopaths, that's exactly what they are. That anything that I say or do is turned into a negative against me and used to hurt me. And I was directly told during this whole situation going on by legal counsel, do not reveal anything further. Do not talk about any of the shit that people are accusing you of. Do not even speak of it, because the more you say, the worse it's going to get for you, because they will just twist it into something it's not. Look at how bad it is already. Now
that's not legal advice, idiot. That's just advice to try to help you. That don't hurt them. And it may not even hurt your process. Because if they're telling you that, that means the way they look at your situation, it's only to try to keep you together. It doesn't hurt them because they're going to come to their conclusion either which way. They already look at that. They already look at any outside interference as just that, as outside interference. So that's just to help you. That's like moral support for you. That doesn't have shit to do with the legal process. So how the fuck are you legally obligated not to say something about your fucking personal life when it only has something to do with you and not the actual legal process that's just already been granted? Huh?
They'll be contacting more parties involved with the bankruptcy and more things to say more shit. That's bullshit. So don't, they said, and they even said, moving further forward in your life, you've got to be careful about what you talk about, because anything that you say can be misconstrued or twisted by these people.
That's not legal advice. This is bullshit. That's advice that people on his own streams has told him. That's shit that detractors have told him. At least some detractors have told him. That's shit that his parents would tell him. If you needed to hear that shit from a lawyer, you have fucking problems. Because you should already know this.
And unless you're going to somehow find money and time to sue these people for defamation, what can you do? You have no recourse against it. They could just say whatever they want. So, that being said...
So how are you going to sue us for defamation if you actually have no recourse? And more importantly, you're supposed to be broke, so you don't have the capital anyway to take any of us to court anyway. So what the fuck are you talking about? And then it'll just turn into an even further, it'll even turn into an even further spectacle, because if you were willing to take anybody to court, and obviously if you went ahead and got cross-examined, that means you're on the stand. That means my attorney, for example, can ask you all kinds of questions. And under the law, you have to answer. And if you lie, and if I can prove it, or if I can reach out to someone who can find it that you proved it, then you perjured yourself under oath. You do realize that, right? You do realize it's like a no-win type situation. you do realize that I could literally, well, not just me, anybody really, could literally fuck you a bunch of ways to Sunday, which Cat's been probably desperately needing, as it pertains to your situation. You do realize that, right? And you broke anyway. You can't take anybody to the court. Why do you even bring that up? And the thing is, too, about that, now that I think about it, he's been talking about taking people to court for defamation for fucking years. For years, he's been saying that retarded shit. And it hasn't happened. It's not going to happen. He's going to sit there and he's going to eat it. That's what he's going to do.
All right. Right? As tough as it was, as stressful as it was, I got through it. That's a major accomplishment for me because it was one of the toughest things I've ever done in my life because I had to literally show so much information down to every possible fucking detail that I had to show what was going on. And then my bankruptcy got granted. I was like, oh. Now, is it the end of everything? No, I still have debts in my name. There's still some things that need to be resolved. And the truth of the matter is, I'm pretty much okay. But there are maybe some things that in the future may happen that are negative. But the thing is, I'm just
which means, guess what? He's not financially stable. All of those bullshit promises that he made about bettering the streams and his quality of life is bullshit. And he's going to use everything now, that those couple of things that are going to be negative down the line, he's going to use that shit as talking points so he can continue begging. That's what it comes down to. So for anybody who's a DSP fan up to this particular point, you can go ahead and kiss any chances of any type of improvements of this asshole goodbye. It's gone now. Because his dumbass right here still is doing everything half-assed instead of finishing the job, addressing everything and getting everything worked out, getting a plan set up, whatever the case may be. He wants to go ahead and coast and wait until shit gets worse. Things are bad now. We should probably address it. But no, we're just going to go ahead and coast until things get much, much, much worse. And then I'm going to come to you guys and beg you guys for even more money, more support, more contributions. You see how bottomless this pit is? You guys don't know. You're going to learn. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today.
Now. Okay? I'm in a position now where the money that I bring in on a monthly basis, now I can look at it and say, I'm not pissing it away to 1 million credit cards and loans that are going nowhere and mean nothing and I'm not getting anything out of. Instead, here's my money.
You already got what you needed out of it, idiot. You were granted the loan. You did spend the money. Oh, it was useless because you had to pay it back. Oh, okay, I got you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into this. So we have an individual who sat there and was apparently, at least the way he's wording it, was throwing his money away at financial obligations that he already benefited from. I ran up a shitload of credit cards. Hey, now that the credit cards are gone and I can't spend them to buy more food to go into my gullet to fuel my gout, it's worthless to me. I got all these loans to help cover the credit cards so I could fill my gullet with more food to go ahead and continue my gout, to feed the gout, if you will. But I've already spent the money from that, so that's useless. So that's how we look at our financial obligations. So, for example, if I charge $20 to my credit card, does the $20 that I just spent now just become useless because I have to pay it back? Because I can't benefit it from because I can't benefit from it outside of me initially spending it? That's pretty much what he's saying. Something to think about.
Here's what I need to spend it on this month: utilities, food, business expenses, health expenses.
Business expenses. Getting games donated to you directly or through Amazon wish list as business expenses? Well, Phil, riddle me this: how are you writing down those games that are donated to you? Like, how are we documenting that? And I mean games that are donated to you directly through game codes sent directly to you, or those who buy stuff through Amazon. How is that being documented? Are you documenting that you're purchasing all those and then writing those off as business expenses? Let's dig a little further. When that PS4 Pro was donated to you, did you write that off as you bought that and that was a business expense? Did you write that off also for that Nintendo Switch that ended up bricking on you? Was that also a business expense that you wrote off on? Was that controller also a business expense? The deck lab, are you continually writing that stream deck off as a business expense? How much shit has been donated to this idiot or was given to him as influencer copies or as sponsorships that we're writing off as business expenses? And most of that shit he never even used. But now, since he had to say business expense for everything like a fucking turd on that call, now everything all of a sudden is a business expense. Going back to the early days of Axe the King, where this piece of paper and this controller and these games, I write all that stuff on my taxes. Huh.
Taxes, health insurance, all that stuff.
You mean, wait a second, you mean the taxes that you're behind on by multiple years that you can't pay? Which one are we talking about too? We talking about state and business occupation tax or the federal tax? You know, the same federal tax that your mom, when you went out to Connecticut in 2018 to get married, she gave you money. She fronted you money. No, she gave you money. She gave you money so you could use to get on the federal tax payment plan so you could get yourself out of that problem. And then you stopped paying your federal taxes not too long after that. That's interesting. Matter of fact, you still get money from your parents, or at least your mom anyway, monthly or weekly. Whatever. You're still begging them for money and they're still giving it to you. Where does that money go? Just out of curiosity. I'm just saying. I'm wondering. Curious.
Now, I'll start to see what I'm making and say, oh my God, I can afford everything. Like, the past couple of months have been amazing for me, and here's why. For the first time in years, I've paid everything, including taxes.
So how the fuck were you successful over the last couple of years when you could barely pay bills? And you're not actually paying your taxes because aren't you waiting for the government to open back up so they can see and wait on their decision if they will allow you to go back on another payment plan to pay your back federal tax? So how are you paying taxes when you said that you physically can't pay taxes because the government wouldn't accept your money until they come up with another payment plan for you to get back on? Are you forgetting your own lies? These are all things that you've said. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be paying now every month. I can afford them. And I'm like, this is so crazy. I haven't been able to do this in the longest time. I'm not kidding. It's been like 3-4 years since every month I can afford
You've
everything.
gone 4 years without ever being able to pay all of your debts, and you have the nerve to run around here and say that you were successful, and you had the nerve to run around here and say that people are jealous of you because you get to do what you want and you make all this money doing what you love, and they have to go to their shitty 9-to-5 jobs, but yet you can't even pay your obligations? Your monthly obligations, let alone the financial ones? Really? So for all those people out there that were like, you know, maybe you guys are being a little bit harsh on Phil because he does make $100,000 a year, and you know, he's only doing it playing video games badly. Don't you think that might be a reason why you're mad at him? Well, now that you guys have said that, he's come out and said that he can't pay his bills for the last 4 fucking years. So what good is $100,000 a year if you can't pay off your bills? Which means what, ladies and gentlemen? It means his debts and how he was living, his living expenses exceeded what he was making. Huh. Which would come down to what, ladies and gentlemen? Could it be just really bad porky luck? Sure, it could be. Or is it really more just financial irresponsibility and mismanagement? And you got to think, with all the donations, big donations, we could assume that he was getting behind the scenes for many, many years and whatnot. You know he was blowing that money on bullshit he wasn't supposed to, under the expectation that, oh, I'll make that next month, or Jimmy whoever is going to end up sending me another $100 next week, and so on and so forth. The same way how this idiot's sitting here regurgitating that there will be future Vest celebrations because in his head he already has the expectation that they're going to keep doing it. Anybody want to go ahead and anybody want to chime in on that? No? All right, let's continue.
Now for multiple months. And again, you guys, with your support, with this Vest streak going on right now, that's where the money is going. Make no bones about it. Again, the new conspiracy theory comes out from these idiots. See, Phil's making so much money. He's hoarding all that money. He's filthy rich. Oh my God, he's spending it on gambling and
You're far from rich. You're far from rich. Do I think you're gambling some of it away? I think you've been gambling shit away. But trust me, no one thinks you're rich. Far from it. You're not rich in that of the quality of life. You're not rich in the fan base that you have, which I honestly think are going to be the ones that eventually kill you. They're definitely a deficit. They're not an advantage. You're not rich in anything. You don't even have health. If you really think about it, you don't even have good health. So the very basic human thing that you should be blessed with, you don't even have. You spend the majority of your time worrying about a bunch of faceless people online and what they say about you, and then you spend even more time being mad at people who are more successful than you. How the fuck are you rich in anything?
They're fucking morons, all right? The money is going where it needs to go to pay the things that I never afforded before. And that's amazing to me that I can do that and not
It's amazing
feel
that you can finally pay your bills. Yet again, making 6 figures a year, it's fucking amazing I can finally pay my bills. I can finally pay off my obligation. Because he's kind of already been hinting at the fact that he disliked the fact that he had to pay back those credit card companies, or he had to pay back those banks, or he had to pay back those loans. He's shown quite a level of disdain having to do that. I hope you guys have been able to take that in.
pressure that every night my bank account's empty and all this shit, anxiety. My anxiety has been greatly relieved.
How's your bank account empty every fucking night when you get tipped every day? How does that work? And you can't go ahead and keep spewing off the lie. Oh, every bit of tips that I get, I immediately pull it out and spend it on bills. 6 days a week? Really? Just something to think about.
Year. Because the bankruptcy went through and the amount of support you guys are giving me with this vestry. Okay?
Drinking more toilet water.
So all that being said, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I want you guys to understand the positive impact you're having on me and what's going on behind the scenes right now, which I'm going to talk about, that's going to improve things for the future, I feel. All right, so right now, what's happening is the federal government is starting to reopen after this COVID crisis. All this would have happened back in April, but because COVID-19 rocked the world, all the tax departments and everything shut down to limited capacity for processing tax returns, but no one's really done anything. Like, for example, I filed my taxes in April. The federal government hasn't even contacted me to say, Phil, you didn't pay all your taxes last year. Let's talk about that. Wow. Like, it's been months, and they haven't bothered to contact me. They're going to contact me and say, you owe us all this money and this interest.
Do you not understand the scope of what you just said previous? We have a fucking pandemic going down. Or going on, I should say. The government is working at limited capacity. But, wow, I filed in February, and they still haven't called me for their money yet. After you already basically snorted out all the reasons why they wouldn't, given the current climate and circumstance. Does anybody ever catch him doing this shit? Because he does this a lot.
That you owe us now and everything because you didn't pay your taxes last year.
He thinks he's making some grandiose point, but really he's just talking himself into circles.
It hasn't even happened yet. All right? It hasn't even happened yet. That's how delayed they are. They're like 3-4 months delayed. So
do you actually have the money to pay the taxes that you already owe, or do you not? Because that's what the real question is, ladies and gentlemen. Because, and let's go ahead and clarify things for a minute. He actually owes the federal government twice. They're dicking him down twice because they want their current taxes and then they want their back taxes. Keep that in mind. So all these months that he hasn't been able to pay them because of COVID-19 and everything else that goes along with it, he should have that money saved up. That money should be stockpiling, so when they do open up and they're ready for that, he should be able to send them one big ass payment. He's not talking like someone who's doing that. He's still talking like someone who's still living day to day. So where's that tax money then? Remember, I need your money. I need this money to pay my bills. But the way he's talking about these taxes, it sounds like he don't have that tax money. He knows he owes it, and that's all well and good, but he's not expressing to you that he has it.
This month with my tax attorney. And essentially what happened is, number one, I've paid all the money, the back money I owed to my tax attorney for him to do my federal taxes and everything earlier this year, which is over $1,000, crazy amount of money. I was able to pay him off and finally
How's
get
$1,000 a crazy amount of money, and how is that back payment money that you owed him? When you told us that that the tax guy wouldn't even touch your taxes unless you paid him up front. And as of you paying him up front, he would do you the favor of going ahead and knocking out Cat's taxes out at the same time. But you had to pay him up front. But now you're saying you finally have paid him off all the back money that you owed him? Huh? Interesting.
him. And he's now like, okay, what you need to do now is retain my services again, which sucks. Whenever you have an attorney, you have to retain their services by paying an upfront retainer that may or may not cover the entire cost of the work they're going to do for you. I have to pay him a very large retainer.
Wait, you have a tax preparator and you have a tax attorney, or are you trying to say that they're both the same guy? What exactly? Because the way he's making it sound, he's paying the same guy to do two separate pieces of work. Or are we paying two separate people to do stuff? Are we paying our tax preparator, and then we're paying the tax attorney to negotiate terms so he can pay his back taxes? Just trying to keep track.
To get his services, and he says basically when the federal government contacts me, because they're going to contact him, not me, about this, all right, he will work with them to get a payment plan reestablished. Previously, I had a payment plan reestablished last year for my back taxes that I hadn't paid, and every month I was paying a certain amount of money a month, and it was going to just be paid indefinitely like that, a payment plan, until they were finally paid off, which probably would have been, a few years, 3-4 years, and they would have been paid off. I would have been good. But here's what happened that I had no idea was going to happen. All right. By the way, I'm just going to say this. There's a bunch of shithead trolls who are just sitting here being negative in the stream chat, and it would be nice, moderators, if you could give a look. Anyone who's complaining right now about the segment, they should get banned. They shouldn't even be in the chat.
There's something off about what you're saying, and they're catching on to it. There's something very off about what's being said here. So yeah, I would expect them to say something. And if this is so important leading into this Vest celebration thing, you should be keeping it moving. You're getting distracted because people are calling you out on your bullshit and there's probably a little bit there that's starting to trigger you because you know damn well that, oh shit, they already on me. That's why you want them banned. Anyway.
Supposed to be in there, as you can see. They're all talking shit. Ban them all. Because I'm talking about personal stuff that's important to the future of myself in the streams. I'm getting to it, but you gotta be patient. And if these shitheads are gonna derail the stream, ban every fucking one of them. I'm not gonna put up with their shit. I'm just not. I don't give a fuck. If you're here to sit here and complain all day, get the fuck out. That's my attitude. It's a positive day for me. I'm trying to share with you guys stuff that's going on behind the scenes that's important. If you don't like that, get the fuck out. Okay? Okay. Now the mods know what's going on. And I get the feeling we're going to see a lot of shitheads leave the stream very short.
Dude, then shit or get off the goddamn pot. Like, one or the other. Like, get to the goddamn point of this. If you're tired of people calling you out on your bullshit.
So here's what the deal, all right? I was on a back taxes plan. I was paying my back taxes. But something happened this year that I didn't expect.
How were you able to pay your back taxes when you were worried about every time you went to bed that you had overdraft fees? How does that work? Like, it's funny how he started the story off with he's been stressed for months before the vest streak because he couldn't pay his bills and it was really wearing on him that he couldn't pay his bills. But now he's sitting here telling us all the things that he was paying. So what was it?
I didn't know that when you declare bankruptcy, okay, it negates any payment plans and situations that you have in effect. If you have anything that's on an auto payment, if you have anything that is an existing loan or agreement, including my back taxes plan, those get negated.
Wait,
and I didn't know.
Why didn't your bankruptcy attorney tell you that? Matter of fact, why didn't your tax preparator or your tax attorney, if they're not one and the same person, why didn't they tell you that? Because I feel like you would have divulged that information. And if you didn't, why didn't you? Huh. Interesting.
That I had no clue that that was the situation. Okay, so what ended up happening was I had this payment plan on auto debit. It was taking the money from me every month automatically. All of a sudden, in like February or March, they didn't take the money, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on. I better pay. So I ran and I actually paid that month's payment plus another month's payment because I was afraid they were going to hit me with a bunch of late fees and everything. I didn't know what was going on. And then another month happened and they didn't take the money. And I contacted my tax guy and I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh yeah, when you declare bankruptcy, everything gets canceled. So essentially right now you have no payment plan anymore and you have to reestablish from the ground up a brand new one with the government, or else they're just going to consider you in default and hit you with a ton of fees, a ton of interest, and basically screw you over.
Wait, so then what happened to the 2 payments that you made in the previous month when the first auto pay didn't go out? And this is me being a dick because I nitpick shit because I'm an asshole. How did you have the money to make 2 payments within the same month? Yet again, he told us that he's been struggling and barely making payments. And auto pay was supposed to go through. It didn't go through. He panicked and made a payment, or made that payment that he owed, and then threw an additional payment on top of it. Then the next month, it happens, and he reaches out to his attorney, and they say, "Oh, you don't. Yeah, that's been negated. You don't have to worry about that." So on and so forth. All the situation. Well, then what happened to his 2 payments? Did it go towards the previous back taxes agreement or arrangement that he had, or did the government just pocket it?
So I said, can we do that now? And he's like, no, you can't do that because they're closed and they won't until they contact us when they're ready to look at what we filed this year for your last year's taxes, and they're ready to handle that and talk with you about it. You just wait. He says, it's not even worth it. He's like, don't pay anything towards it because it's not going to apply to any plan. No plan exists.
Wait,
they're just going to have
2
money.
things. If that really happened and it got negated, why wouldn't the government send him a letter saying, hey, this is what the situation is, and so cease all payments for the time being? Because I know people who have government loans, student loans, and the government sent them messages saying, hey, any payments that you were making, these weren't back payments, these are just loan payments. All that's going to stop until further notice. Matter of fact, why didn't they just reach out to his tax attorney and send that and tell him that? Why did Phil have to reach out to his tax attorney the next month and inquire about that? Huh.
Sitting in limbo, not applying to anything. There's no point. So now I'm waiting to hear from the government. But I need to pay my lawyer by the end of this month a lot of money in order to retain his services so that he will work with the government when they do eventually contact us, which we're expecting will happen any day. It could literally happen today.
Then why would he want you to... Why would he want you to pay... Well, I mean, it's a retainer fee. It is what it is. I guess... Yeah, it's a retainer, I suppose. This way, when it does open up, he just gets started immediately. So... I don't know. There's so much bullshit in the story right now, though. I still want to chew on that. But let's let that slide for right now.
We don't know when the government's going to get around to be getting caught up and be tackling this kind of stuff. Now, when this happens, number one, he has to work with them to establish a plan. Now we're talking 2 years of back taxes I didn't pay. Whatever's the remainder of 2018, which is still a lot left, I'm sure, because I only paid those back taxes on a plan for a year. And then what I didn't pay for 2019, which I'm not even sure what it is.
Wait.
They're going to figure out...
Wait. If you're... Okay, I'm sorry. We're going to have to go back onto that bone. Because I'm not ready to let that go yet. So basically, you were making all your payments, You filed for bankruptcy. Your bankruptcy negated all of the arrangements or agreements that you had. You didn't know that. You had an auto pay coming out for the back taxes that you were trying to pay for. But then when your bankruptcy kicked in, it stopped all that, so the government stopped auto paying you, sent you no notification of it. You make 2 payments in the same month that theoretically he shouldn't have been able to do because he didn't have the money. The next month comes around, no auto deduction, which means he was sitting on the money and expecting it to be deducted. It didn't. He reaches out to his tax attorney. His tax attorney tells him that you don't have to worry about it because everything's been negated because of your bankruptcy, and we have to wait so we can reestablish. We have to wait, and we have COVID-19, and you have to wait for the government to open back up so we can go ahead and reestablish your plan. But why do you have to go through him to reestablish a plan that was already in process, given the fact that you didn't do anything to violate that process outside of filing for bankruptcy? And even still, why would he charge you for that if he was the one who helped establish it for you in the first place? Like, I feel like that's almost double dipping on his part. And if that's how they do, that's how they do. So don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I've never filed for bankruptcy, so it is what it is. But even then, think about all this money we have floating around. Because he had enough money to make 3 payments to the government. Plus he still has the money to retain this guy who wants his money up front. How is it that we have all this money floating around, but supposedly we have no money?
A new payment plan, and then they're going to tell me what it is, and I need to start paying that on a monthly basis. In addition, I have to pay my current taxes every month. So we're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars a month I have to pay now for taxes, which is okay, because like I said, because of the bankruptcy, I've cleared myself up enough that it looks like I should be able to afford everything. I hope, and again, knock on wood, fingers crossed, as nothing else goes wrong, no other crazy expense jumps up out of fucking nowhere. So you know what I mean? Because the last time that it looked like I may be on track to do stuff right, that's when I was told in 2017, oh, you haven't been doing your state taxes correctly for the past 3 years. Now you owe tens of thousands of dollars. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay? So please, let there be nothing else going on that I don't know about. All right? Right now, I've paid up on my state taxes, and I'm paying them properly. Monthly, I'm paying my federal taxes properly, okay? And I'm supposed to soon get on a back payment plan for the back taxes I owe the federal government.
Wait, but didn't he tell us, though? I'm sorry to nitpick. That's kind of what I do. But didn't he tell us in, like, a weekend preview in, like, 2018 that he had paid off all of the state and business occupation tax? So theoretically, that shouldn't exist. He should be just paying whatever are the regular state and business occupation taxes that he's been incurring year after year. He shouldn't be paying any back state and business occupation tax. And even when the federal situation happened, even when the COVID-19 situation happened, he's saying that he was still paying his regular taxes. So I would think he was still paying his state and business occupation tax too. So why are we still contending with back taxes on federal and state? Like, what is he doing? Because if we go by at least the timeline I'm thinking of, that means in 2018 he lied and didn't actually pay off all the state and business occupation tax, and he's been stretching that out. It's almost as if he was stretching that out as well as the federal until the bankruptcy came up, believing that maybe the bankruptcy would wipe all that stuff off the board. But when it didn't, because he's a fucking idiot, and he realized he was stuck with him, then he coughed up money that he had but he didn't want to spend to either start paying that stuff off or to pay it off. It's starting to sound like a con job. This really, really, really sounds like sketch.
All that is done and established, then I will be able to, the first time in like 4 fucking years, I'll be able to sit down and say, here's what I make, here's what I owe, do I have anything extra? With that money that I have extra, can I actually do something positive for the business, my streams, my personal life? You know what I mean? Something I haven't been able to do in the longest time.
Well, first, you're already being an idiot about it, because here's what you make, here's what you owe, here's what's extra, but let's look at it in a different way. Here's what his income is, here's what his obligations are, and here's what's extra. Are you able to put food on the table? Are you able to have the electricity and everything going on so you can do your business? Are you able to pay off all your bills on time without penalties? Yes. So whatever extra you have, maybe that should go to paying off, to continue to pay down on those same obligations. You ever thought about that, champ? Maybe we should throw some extra money onto the mortgage each and every month, just to go ahead and keep paying that down a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, we could go ahead and throw extra money at these taxes so we can pay that off quicker. You ever thought about that, champ? Maybe that's not a bad idea. You want to worry about fun time? You want to worry about dumb bitch? That's the reason why you're in trouble in the first place. You take care of your obligations first. It's business and then it's pleasure. You don't sit there and try to do both. You've already tried doing that and you failed at it. Now you want to go ahead and get yourself jammed up again. Jesus Christ.
Things to talk about. Okay, let's talk about a positive future. All right. First of all, we got some shout outs. Let me do some shout outs and then we'll talk about the positive future. That's why I had to explain the backstory. That's why you get shitheads in the stream chat complaining. I'm obviously going somewhere with this stupid. Just wait a few minutes, but they have to be negative trolls, of course, right? Okay. Now, let's talk. Let's see here. Ladies Man actually did another 100-bit cheers. I have another cheer. Thank you, Ladies Man. Hyena Whoopi Goldberg. That's a character from Lion King. Whoopi Goldberg played a hyena called Shotzi, I believe was the name. To me, $1.30 says, am I wary of viewers that love me unconditionally or smart-ass viewers? Because over the years, hardcore fans can turn on you if they feel slighted. I don't think about that.
He should. That's the reason why the detractor community exists in the first place.
I don't think about that at all.
Even though, I don't know, I would say they were hardcore more to the fact that some of them were just maybe just really invested.
Because that's stupid. A fan today may not be a fan tomorrow, or they may be a long-term fan. I can't control that. I can't control people's life situations, people's attitudes, people's mental state. All I can do is be me. Be me.
So you're saying that people that used to be fans of yours but are not fans of yours anymore, one of the reasons why they're not fans of you anymore is because they're crazy? Are you guys taking in what this retard say? If you like someone, or you like someone's content, and then after a while you stop liking it, it's not because you've just outgrown it, or you found something better. There's something mentally wrong with you. That's pretty much what he implied. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know. There's a lot of content creators then that I owe apologies to. Yikes. Well, I just don't watch it as much as I used to, but I still watch it. Never mind. I don't owe anybody any apologies.
Content, be positive, try to be interactive, and try to be fair to my viewers, and that's all I can do. If people today are longtime viewers for the rest of the time that I stream, or if someone turns on me tomorrow, I can't control that shit, I can't worry about that. Is it unfortunate if you have someone who maybe was a supporter who for some reason now has a soured attitude towards you? Of course it is. But it's hilarious because the reasons they have for those things I can't control. One person said, the reason that I turned on Phil is because he made fun of people who bought amiibos.
You're still holding on to that Gamer J Lee thing? Damn, I didn't know Gamer J Lee had a real estate up there too. And the Brunel high rises. Holy shit. Snort Brunel, SOK, Almighty Tevin, LSB, fucking just in case you guys didn't know, Goji Tanks and Jose just broke ground on some high rises over there. Heard built-in arcades might be a thing. Evil AJ, Jesus Christ, like they all got real estate in that bitch. Damn. Hey, are we on a waiting list or something? We are? Hopefully? Okay. Jesus Christ. I feel like it's gonna start turning into heaven and just very limited spaces.
You used to watch someone's content every day. You loved their content. You now hate it because they criticize people who buy amiibos. Okay, if that's your reason, see what I mean? You can't stop it. People will turn because everyone's different. So you can't control that, and I don't worry about that stuff. Okay. Ladies man did another 100-bit cheer, so I gotta go. Phil, take care. Thank you.
Obviously, that wasn't the only reason either, but he wants to focus on that because he thinks that's the most petty, or at least in his mind, the most stupid. And that's that. He doesn't realize, because if I remember correctly, because I think I went over, I'm sure I know I went over that video. That right there, it was one thing in the culmination of reasons on why James ended up picking up and leaving. It wasn't just that one thing. Like, that wasn't the, oh, he did this one thing out of all the years I followed him, I'm done. No, it was a culmination of it. It was a snowball effect.
Thank you for the cheering support today. Papa Vera Charity says, when this is all done, if you get your credit repaired, would you try to hold on to a line of credit or denounce all credit cards? See, here's the thing. It's good to have emergency credit.
Which means I'm going to go back and I'm going to spurge again. Because did he treat his credit like it was emergency credit? Well, I guess you could say he did, because his income was flatlining and he needed his credit cards to prop him up. Now, is that really an emergency situation? No. No, it's not. He could have just curbed his spending. But semantics.
Credit, if something goes wrong and you have something to fall back on, like what if something breaks in my house? What if an appliance dies? What if my fridge dies overnight? Right now I have nothing to buy a new fridge with, right? But
you're a liar. You'll sit there and cry to your mom, and your mom will send you the money. Let's stop.
Credit. That's really how credit should be used. It shouldn't be actively used.
Oh, that's funny. Coming from the same idiot who went into debt for credit cards twice within 10 years and still fucked it up. That's why he's got his head down and you're seeing that receded hairline. Because he's looking at you in shame because this idiot made the same mistake twice. We went into debt chasing Evo, and then we went into debt again trying to chase false validation and false internet success. Wow.
Spend every month. That's how you afford things. And that's the problem, is when I came out here, I overspent, and the feeling that I would be able to pay it off within 3 or 4 years, and that didn't happen because of the circuit.
That's what it was. You were stupid. You sat there and incurred debts thinking that, oh, in 3 or 4 years I'll be able to pay it off. Who thinks like that? 3 or 4 years? This isn't a mortgage. It's not like you're taking a mini mortgage on credit cards, idiot. Who the hell wants to carry balances that long? I know there are people that have to, but who would set out wanting to do that? He's not saying, oh, I hope to get this paid off within a year. No, he's legit trying to stretch it out 3 or 4 years. That's why he got in trouble.
Circumstances, and then it just became, well, now I can't even afford anything. Everything has to go on credit, and that was the beginning of the end for me. Okay, but no, even when I ever get my credit back, which is doubtful that I'll ever get credit back like I had, minimal.
Your credit wasn't that great. Fuck it, I'm gonna be a dick. Your credit wasn't that great anyway. To be honest, his credit wasn't that great. It really wasn't. It was really based on, to be honest, it was really just based on his income. If his income was, I'd say half, he wouldn't have. He'd probably only have 2 credit cards, maybe 3, and less than 3,000 per balance. And that's pushing it. His credit wasn't shit. Legit, his credit wasn't shit. Anyway,
what I want to do now, I'm gonna get used to being on budgeted spending. I can only spend money.
Everybody's on budgeted spending. That's just a normal thing. You shouldn't buy what you can't afford, and whatever it is that you want now, and if you don't have the money to spend it without fucking up something that's in the normal routine, then it can wait, and you just plan out for it later on down the line. That's just something that adults do. And this just goes to show you how fucking ignorant this bastard is. We 38 and now just figuring out how to budget. Jesus Christ, I can see why your dad didn't mind going ahead and cheating on your mom, Phil. But then again, your mom cheated on your dad too, so it is what it is. Infidelity is everywhere. But I can kind of see why. I think he looked at least his his firstborn son, at least that we know of, and was like, Jesus Christ, you're a fuck up. And over the years, I think, I'm gonna be real with this. Over the years, he just saw how much more of a disappointment that you became, and I think he just lost faith. Now, granted, that is the most brutal thing to say, that a father would lose faith in his son, because at the end of the day, your parents are always supposed to be in your corner. But Jesus Christ, Phil, like, have you ever thought that, you know what? I keep fucking up and my parents keep bailing me out. Oh, well, maybe I should stop fucking up. Maybe I've learned my lesson. Maybe I've played one too many times, and maybe it's time to be a man and square up. But in actuality, what did Phil do? Oh, I fucked up, but hey, you guys are my parents, and you guys have to bail me out, so keep bailing me out. Which just goes to show how little he cares about them. Because, Jesus Christ, how many times do you need to go to your parents with your fucking with your hat in your hand and say, hey, I really need some help? And don't be wrong, your parents are there to help you, but how many people want to go back to their parents weekly, if not monthly, and say, I need help and I need thousands and thousands of dollars? Like that don't hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like that don't bother you at all?
Have, because that's all I have. I have no credit, so I can only spend money that I have in my account, my bank account, and get used to that for the next 7 to 10 years.
See that small glance he gave at the camera?
That's how I'm going to live. So when 7 to 10 years expire and people maybe offer me credit again, I'm like, meh, don't really need it. Maybe I'll have one credit card as a emergency thing, and that's it, you know.
Don't really need it, but I'm going to take an emergency credit card anyway. But here, and this is where the pignosis is already weak. If you've been surviving for 10 years, it would be understandable that maybe within those 10 years you have some savings. You have an emergency fund, a rainy day account, one may even call it. So maybe we don't need to run back to getting a credit card just because we have an emergency. Maybe over the next decade, we can slowly but surely put money away and maybe save, $10,000, $15,000 just in case shit happens. Maybe we can just have that in cash since he's not going to see, the almighty plastic for another decade. You would think logically that's what people would do.
Okay, so now let's talk about the future. First of all, business stream related stuff that I want to do for the future, okay? First thing that I feel is my major concern, that's something that I can do that's not super expensive, but would probably be a positive impact on the streams. I want to get rid of this couch. This couch sucks. This couch I bought in 2014 when I first moved here. The cushions on this couch probably had actual support at most 1.5 to 2 years. So by 2016, this couch was sunken in, no support whatsoever. It's just, honestly, is it comfy to sit back like this? Yes. But if I'm trying to concentrate on a game and get like, oh, I'm into the game, I get support, I'm sitting on a pillow right now because I'm so sunken into this goddamn couch. That's how shitty this couch is. I didn't know that. I paid a lot of fucking money for this couch, and it fell apart within 2 years. I'm really pissed because even the couch I had in Connecticut, the brown couch, the infamous brown couch, did not wear out that fast, and that was not a super expensive couch. This was, and this couch wore the fuck out so quickly. Okay?
Just because you throw a lot of money at something doesn't mean it's going to be the best. First off and foremost. Secondly, no one told you to sit in the exact same spot over and over and over again. That's why when his dad and his mom came out there, and the first time they came out there to like paint Panda's room, clean up outside with the weeds and all that bullshit. You'll see that on the second channel eventually, because we already have that over there. Because I gotta laugh at that, and I'm gonna mirror it too. He was sitting on one particular part of his couch downstairs to the point where it sunk in. Imagine that, and he needed his dad to help move that part of the sectional and whatnot so they could essentially rotate it out. Maybe stop sitting in the same spot. Maybe flip the cushions. Maybe just do something different. Why the fuck do you need a love seat anyway? Like, you didn't need a love seat. You wanted a love seat. You did it yourself. Why didn't you just get a lazy boy? That's what I would. Excuse me. If I was him, that's what I'd have done. I'd got a lazy boy. Fuck all that. Fuck that whole love seat shit. That shit just seems silly. And like I said, if Panda wanted to come sit down, she can ride this. Outside of that, I don't understand. I don't know why we need the love seat. But whatever. And then again, when she wanted to ride him, he couldn't get it up. So it is. I don't know. Pig roach problems. Anyway, the point being is, yet again you set yourself up for failure. You didn't need a love seat in that small ass area anyway. So what was the point of that? And then, idiot, you sit in the same place. You sit down in the same spot and do the same shit over and over and over again for like 6 to 8 hours a day. What did you think was going to happen? Yes, it's a love seat. Yes, it's a piece of furniture. But I just don't... nothing's really made like that. It's not made for that. If you think about it. Oh well, whatever.
So, I gotta get rid of this. The thing is...
Especially with all the filth and sweat and everything else that love seat has seen. I'm sure it's seen much better days before it slipped into your hooves. I'm absolutely sure of it.
My house, I don't have a truck to lug it anywhere. I'd have to pay for people to come, get this out of the house, lug it away. And that's probably going to cost me hundreds of dollars, if not more.
No, first off, it won't. But did you hear how he said it? I have to pay. And then he thinks it's going to cost him hundreds of dollars to do so. And don't you live in like a green state or something? Don't they have like furniture like and trash removals and whatnot where they'll legit come out there and get it? And I don't think they charge too much for it. But we're gonna go ahead and exaggerate and say it was hundreds of dollars because you and Kat can't carry it down the stairs, which is, you know, a thing, I suppose. Okay. I forgot, you can't lift more than like 25 pounds anyway, so, you know, without your special little hand cart. So, yikes. Sucks to be 38 and can't do shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different for Rob Warren, like, he's legit a paraplegic, but what about you? Uh-oh, there's clown face there. That's a good one.
Get rid of this couch. Then what I want to do, I want to find a replacement that's a much better seating arrangement. Whether it's maybe a more firm two-seater couch or maybe just a single cushion or it's a chair. Now, I don't want to get...
First off, it's not a couch, it's a love seat. Two, it is a two-seater, idiot. You forget that? You're sitting in the middle. Alright.
I'm sorry. I know so many people use them. I hate to tell you guys this. They're all scams. Gaming chairs are fucking scams. You want to know how I can tell you that? I have one that I got for free 2 years ago. That chair...
You mean that weak piece of shit? You mean that basic shit? Get the fuck out of here. You're gonna... Wait a second. I want you to think about this. He's gonna judge... What were they selling that chair for? $100 on Amazon? Maybe $150? He wants to judge $100 to $150 gaming chair, which is really just some Chinese knockoff, to a $300 or $400 gaming chair, and he's gonna call them all fucking ripoffs. When I've seen $50 gaming chairs that beats the dog shit out of Phil's chair currently. Wow.
Is a piece of shit. All right, that chair gives you a little bit of support.
Wasn't that the same
really.
chair you were trying to shill off to your audience though, and say that? Didn't you say that chair was okay? It wasn't that bad. It was pretty good. It had lumbar support. Oh, and then you started shitting on it after the sponsorship got ousted, right? Oh, at least I kept the chair. At least I got the chair, right, Phil? Oh, now it's a piece of shit though. Okay, gotcha.
That chair, about 6 months ago, only owning it for about a little bit over maybe a year and a half, doesn't even hold the air compression anymore. You know how in a chair has a little lever that fills with air to lift up, and then you can drain the air to go down and have a height adjustment? That chair doesn't even hold air anymore. All right? Literally, you sit on it and it goes, fucks up. It's a piece of garbage. And these gaming chairs are all
You mean the
scams.
hydraulics wore out? You do know you can replace those, right, Phil? I mean, you do know that's a thing, right? I mean, your chair is really generic. Like, you can find the actual chair parts. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. Oh, well.
because they look nice. Oh, look.
That would require him to rebuild it again, or at least assemble that part, and he had a hard time assembling it the first time. I guess it'd be a stretch to act as an idiot to do it again.
Colors or whatever. They're trash. They're meant to be a promotional tie-in for someone like me, a content creator, to say, look at my fancy gaming chair, everyone. Look, it's nice. You could buy one for yourself. Use my referral code to buy it. And by the way, I get a cut of everyone. You're helping me out if you buy it. So people run out and start buying the chairs thinking I'm supporting the streamer or the content creator. And you get a chair that's a piece of shit. And it breaks quickly and it's not high quality at all. I have owned office chairs that were cheap. Office chairs that cost me like $50 that were twice as good as that fucking gaming chair over there. All right? Gaming chairs are garbage. Now, I'm absolutely sure you could spend a lot of money on a very expensive gaming chair that probably would run you $400 or $500. Maybe that chair would be good, but all those chairs that the content creator or streamers out there that are trying to get you to buy on their streams, those are the promotional garbage chairs.
Don't walk that back, because you said at the beginning of this that all gaming chairs are a scam. Now you want to go ahead and say, well, maybe if you get one of the high-end ones, maybe those will be good. But everything else that the streamers try to shield to you are absolute garbage. So Phil is basically telling you guys that he's going to go ahead and get himself one of the expensive chairs. You know, like the expensive chairs like the Thoughts have, like Alinity and Pokimane. He wants one of those, the really, really expensive ones. That's what he's going to go with, because maybe those are good. If it's good for any thought, right? Who sits there and takes down people's sponsorships, or sits there and makes false accusations about how they're harassed, right? After doing stupid shit like yoking their cat up and out of the way, or trying to hit them with vodka and shit, so you can try to kill them off slow or all that bullshit. It must be good for Darkside Phil, because Jesus Christ, he rips off the handicap. He takes advantage of the disabled. So if those thoughts can get away with crimes, why can't Phil? Right? Right.
Cost $30 to make, and you're paying $200-300 for a chair that's a piece of shit that falls apart. You don't want to do that, all right? From my personal experience, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to do research into a very nice ergonomic chair.
What personal experience? You got it for free, idiot. And the only reason why, well, you got it for free because the chair that you were supposed to get from the previous sponsor found out who and what you really were, and they basically hightailed it out. And you bitched and complained about how you did advertising for a day and you got nothing out of the deal. I taste the salt.
If I can afford that at some point, I'd love to do that. Let me go buy a nice ergonomic comfy chair to do extended gaming sessions in here. But it's not a huge concern for me, okay? I just want something that's going to give me support, that I can sit here and feel comfortable when I'm playing games and not, oh my god, I'm sunken into my couch and shit, okay? So, there's different options. First of all, I have a chair over in my storage area of my house that I used to have in Connecticut. That chair almost never got used. That was a chair that was purchased for me by my parents in 2009 as a housewarming gift when I moved into my condo in Connecticut. So it's an 11-year-old chair that really didn't get much use at all. Usually when I did stuff in my condo in Connecticut, I was sitting on the brown couch. So that chair I brought with me, and potentially I could move it here and use that as my chair in the interim once I get rid of this stupid thing, okay? Now, dependent on spacing, I'm just going to assume that chair is going to be much smaller than this couch is. And if it is, that means for the first time since I've lived here, I may have space behind me to use a green screen.
Stop. He has space for that now. Because we have two different types of green screens. He doesn't even need the setup that he has for it down in the garage. He can legit hang it up on the wall. Matter of fact, that's been recommended to him. He won't do it because he thinks it's gonna affect the soundproofing, which it won't. Not that it means anything anyway. Let's be honest. It sound as shit regardless. The only thing that comes through well is all the belching and snorting he does.
Yes, the green screen that you guys have asked me for for years and years and years, even though you still, I feel, have not convinced me that I need it. Alright? But since you guys have literally never stopped pestering me for a green screen, I say if I have the room for it...
You guys haven't stopped pestering me. Hey Phil, this would help your content. Hey Phil, we're tired of looking at your tired, pathetic background. Hey Phil, this right here would make it more immersed for the people that are watching you. Oh, well, you guys haven't been able to convince me to do so I'm not going to do it. This clown right here that you're looking at, that's what he think. That's what he about. Jesus Christ. That's so sad. That's so sad. Because, in truth, ladies and gentlemen, who wants to see this in the side corner? Like, what does that do for you? Anything? Ladies out there, well, does that do anything for you? Anything at all? No, it doesn't serve a purpose. At all. And since this idiot don't know how to use his camera, he don't have color correction right or anything. So, you're legit just watching this pale fucking potato just slowly dry himself out. I don't think that adds to the atmosphere of the gaming stream or the game itself that he's trying to promote. What's the point? Seriously. A legit waste of space.
Behind me, because this giant thing is out of here, then I can probably set one up. Alright? And I guarantee you it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be adjustments and things I need to do to set it up perfectly so it doesn't have issues. But I feel that I could probably get a smaller portable green screen that I could put behind me for the webcam, so that when I'm on stream, all right. So instead of having this border on the side, right, that border would be completely gone, and it would just be, you'd see me with my vest if I'm still wearing them, and maybe a little bit of the chair, but that's it, and then transparent behind me, kind of superimposed over my gameplay. Now, obviously, I'd have to, for every game it's different, I have to find the right place to put it, but I feel that, you know, you guys have been asking me for it for so goddamn long, right, that you know, I'd be able to do it. Now, before...
He has the same type of annoyance in his voice as he did when people were asking him to go from the camcorder to direct capture. He sounds the exact same goddamn way. You guys remember how many years it took to do that?
Ahead of themselves because people are so ridiculously stupid. But what about that green screen you bought 5 years ago, Phil? Well, let's see. The green screen, that number one, is the size of my garage. I bought a giant green screen not for the office, but what I wanted to do was do projects where I could film myself in front of a green screen. Remember, one of my original ideas was to actually set up a whole desk in front of it and do like a gaming news show. I would read the news and have background stuff behind me, edited and whatever. And that just never happened, okay? It never happened. I used the screen once ever. I danced in front of it.
Wait, why would you need a desk down in your garage when you could have just used the desk that you have up in your office currently? You could have done that, first off and foremost. Secondly, you bought that big ass thing just for that, not realizing, because he is an idiot, by the way, that the actual green screen that he has in that stand adjusts in size and in width and everything. Did he forget that too? I don't even know. I understand why you need lamps for a green screen. I don't think he needed the ones that he has, but whatever it is on that, I mean, you know, go ahead and take that in any direction you want. But what is his real excuse? Like, I'm not hearing an actual legit reason at all, to be honest. And the stand that the green screen is on, he don't even need that. He could drape it onto his walls. Oh well.
And I put that green screen footage out on the internet, and now you see it every day. Right now, people cheer. You see that footage pop up on the stream, right? So that was the whole point of the green screen, was I was supposed to be able to do special events and things with that, all right? Number one, that green screen is way too big to fit in here. And I see people saying, oh, cut the green screen and do that. Leads me to number two. The stand for that green screen is giant. Giant fucking enormous. Okay?
The stand, like I said, the stand adjusts. And two, he doesn't need the stand. Tevin has pointed this out plenty of times. You don't need the actual fucking stand, idiot. Just because it came with it doesn't mean you have to use it.
screen is meant to be a studio-sized green screen that goes up above your head and goes down to the floor, and you're stepping on it and shit to hold it in place. It's not meant for an office like this. The stand alone would not fit wall to wall in this office. It's too big, okay? That green screen also is damaged. Over the years, it's been in the garage. It's just been exposed, being in the garage to weather elements. It's got the stands, you know, I'll be honest, stepped on them, drove over them. They're wrecked. The whole thing's a piece of shit, and I'm throwing it out. The whole thing is
Why
garbage.
haven't you thrown it out yet? Fuck about, oh, I'm going to throw it out. Why hasn't he thrown it out yet? Anybody ask that? Now think about this. I want you guys to really, really think about this. We got a 2-car garage with assumably, or it's assumed, I should say, that there's 2 cars in there, right? And we have a green screen that's sat out there for at least 4 fucking years, and it's damaged, and it's been abused, as with everything that is affiliated with Darkside Phil, and we still haven't thrown it away yet. We're just letting it sit there and exist. Excuse me. Can't use it because it's too big, and it's damaged, and whatnot, so it's basically useless to him. It has no value, yet it's still out there. Out of even during the time where him and Kat were throwing away all the Panda shit, having to go out to the landfill or whatever to go ahead and toss all that, he never thought, well, you know, since we're already going out there, maybe we should throw away this this green screen and these lamps and shit because I can't use it either. They're all bad. They're all damaged. They've been exposed. Never thought about any of that at all. And what happened to the second green screen that he had? Where's that one at? No mention of it, I would assume.
To my wife, I said, why the fuck do we still have this thing? We got to throw this out next to the dump trip that we make. And we're getting rid of it the next time we go to the dump. The whole thing's destroyed and ruined. It's a waste of time. Okay.
So she's lived there for 2 years. Kat has lived there 2 years because she got there in April of 2018. And in 2 fucking years of going back and forth out that garage, only recently around the time that he was recording this is when he decided, oh, we need to throw this out. Okay. Sure.
We're getting rid of that. What I want is a little green screen. They make these now because streaming is so popular, so many people do it. You can get like a green screen kit right off of Amazon, a streamer's green screen kit, where there's a little pop-up thing that goes behind you that has it supports itself. It's not like you have to attach it to your wall or whatever. It's a freestanding thing that pops open behind you. And then all I got to worry about is adjusting the lighting in my office. But, you know, I think I'd be able, if I have a smaller chair, whether it's that brown chair or if I can afford it, I like to get a new chair, some kind of a comfy.
He just wants new
chair.
shit. I'm sorry, like, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm hopping ahead a little bit, but we all know this. He just wants new shit. He legit just wants new shit. He doesn't want to make do with what he has, right? He just wants new shit. And that's why he's going to fuck himself up with his finances in another decade. Because even with this, after coming out of this bankruptcy and coming to the realization, you know what? I don't have a lot of money to spend. I don't have a lot of capital, I should say. I need to do what I can. He's still thirsty for new shit. He's still thirsty for really expensive shit. He's still thirsty for all the stuff that his peers have. The same peers he shits on, by the way. But all the shit that his peers have. The ones that, you know, are successful and shit.
That I could sit here and have nice comfy gaming sections and relax here in the office. And then have a nice pop-up green screen behind me. Okay? That's what I would like to do. Alright? That's number one. The one concrete addition to my stream that I think would just improve it and help it in the short term. Now, am I close to being able to do this right now? No. Like I said, the number one priority for me in my life is this tax situation. Once the tax situation's figured out, then we can start to look to this stuff. So I want you to understand, this is not, oh, I'm doing this next week. This is maybe within a few months. We can look at it and say, okay, I could do this maybe by the end of the year. All right? That's number one. The other big thing, all right? The other big thing that's super important that I definitely want to do, I want to get both of these new consoles coming out. Because
So we're not even going to announce the tip. We're just going to go ahead and look it up to make sure it's real. Wow.
Okay. Hold on. I'm just checking out a bunch of stuff here. Man, I got a lot of emails today. Holy shit. Okay. So the other thing I want to do is get both the new consoles. Here's why. All right. I've been very critical of these new consoles. We just saw two big major events, one from Sony, one from Microsoft. And both of these events basically, both of these events are situations where there's no real great launch titles for them. All right, admittedly, it doesn't seem to me like you need to own the PlayStation 5 nor the Xbox Series X at launch. That's sad. That's really sad that there doesn't seem to be like a system seller for either one. Halo Infinite looks bad, and Spider-Man Miles Morales is an expansion for the last Spider-Man game. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen anything that's blowing me away that I absolutely need them. But, if you look back to the launch of the PS4 and the Xbox One, it's pretty much a similar situation. The games that were coming out for them were also cross-platform, meaning you can still get them on PS3 and Xbox 360. And the games that were coming out for them were lackluster. But some of the most successful stuff I've ever done as a content creator was covering the launch of those games. All right? Those consoles. Getting them on a launch day, live unboxing, right? Hooking them up, showing you guys the features of the console on launch day. Here's what's actually
So we
available.
went from, okay, there's no games on launch, there's nothing good on launch, there's no system sellers, I don't think I need to get the new consoles day one. But all this old shit that happened X amount of years ago might justify why I need to get these day one. And you guys really think he's going to pay for it? You really think this right here, yet again, a snorting in circles, isn't actually bait to get someone to pre-order it for him so it's shipped to him basically ASAP? You think that's not... You guys really don't think that's a thing?
Launch. Here's how the dashboard operates. You remember the debacle with how bad the Kinect worked on the Xbox One at launch? It was a piece of shit. It was like such a waste of everyone's time. You see? So it's really interesting to check out the features and everything that's available with these consoles on launch day. Because, let's be honest, not everyone can get them, and not a lot of people will be getting them because, when there's no games for them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're not going to have people rushing out and buying them. I'm saying there's going to be active people who want to see them and aren't going to spend money on them because there's no games for them at launch, you see? And then in addition, just covering the new games that are going to come out, even though they might not be great, just to see, do these games actually run and operate better on these new gen consoles, or does it just feel like more of the fucking same, right? So, that being said, all that being said, I want to be able to cover those for you guys. And right now it's a major concern for me because the rumor is that we will have an actual pre-release, pre-order system going up live within the next few weeks. People thought it was going to be this week for the PlayStation 5. Hasn't happened yet. But we don't know when the pricing will be announced, when the release date will be announced, and when you can pre-order them. All right? Now, if I can get past this tax situation in the next few weeks, let's say the government contacts me, I can afford to pay my lawyer by the end of this month, this retainer I owe him. He works with them to negotiate the payment plan. The payment's something I can afford every month. We're good. And then they announce the pre-orders. Yeah, I might have the money to do it. I'll be like, yes, I can go in there. I can pre-order the consoles myself and everything will be fine. All right? And I want to get these at launch. I want to cover these for you guys at launch. You guys have expressed a ton of desire to see me cover these at launch. Live unboxing, hooking it up, walking through, playing the launch game. You guys are on board for this, okay? But I cannot guarantee that I'm going to be able to afford it, especially if they end up announcing the pre-orders for these consoles within the next couple of weeks. I can't guarantee this whole tax thing will be cleared up by then, you see? So I can't. Now, some people have said, well, why don't you just put them on your wish list? I have an Amazon wish list that I have things listed there that you guys can donate. First of all, people did a lot of that last year. I really have barely mentioned my Amazon wish list this year at all. I feel you guys are being so generous with this that it would be incredibly irresponsible for me to be asking you guys constantly, hey, you want to donate games? Hey, you want to donate a controller? Hey, you want to pre-order a console? It would be pretty irresponsible.
You were being irresponsible under this logic when King Tut, Emerald 7, and all of that situation was going on, and yet you were still promoting shit. In 2019, he had some decent months where tips were okay. They weren't great, but they were all right, and he was still saying, hey, if you want me to watch, if you guys want to see me play this game, you guys got to donate it. And hey, if you guys want to see this, you guys got to donate it. He didn't have a problem with doing that while collecting tips, just in general. But now all of a sudden, oh, you guys are being so supportive, it would be irresponsible for me to do it. How so? If you can't afford it, then this is the only way, and these people supposedly care about you so much, wouldn't you want to express that avenue to them? You do tell people to go to your Patreon, don't you? Even though you're collecting tips and bits and subs on Twitch, are you not? Is that not irresponsible? Is it not irresponsible to sit there and contribute to a Vest goal while also asking for subs, while also having a sub goal going on? Is that not irresponsible? Interesting.
Bringing this stuff up, all right, constantly and stuff like that. So I've barely mentioned my Amazon wish list this year. I could, if these pre-orders go live, add them to my Amazon wish list. And someone could, in theory, pre-order the consoles for me, all right, and set it up so that it ships to here instead of their house. Great. But the thing about that is, number one, we don't know if they'll even allow that. There's been some things going on, if you didn't hear, there's a strong rumor that Sony is going to try to stop people from scalping their consoles. So what they're going to do is they're going to make it so only one person per household can pre-order one. Now, when the console's actually physically released in stores, it's first come, first serve or whatever. But for the pre-orders, they're basically saying we don't want one person buying thousands of consoles and selling them on the internet for giant profit. So they may have a restriction where only one person can buy per household. If that's the case, how is someone going to pre-order for me?
Are you going to sit here and try to go with this and try to pass it off as fact, idiot? It's a rumor. They say that shit for every console generation. They said that for the PS4. And now you're going to try to pass that off. Get the fuck out of here with this. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is just him trying to say, hey, you may want to pre-order this for me, but you might not because, you know, because of restrictions. So maybe you should just send the money to me directly. It's almost like that's what the backup plan is. The backup plan is, excuse me, Jesus Christ. Here's what the initial plan was. I'm doing so well, and if you guys continue to be supportive, I'll be able to buy the new consoles. Now it's turning into, well, you know, I have my Amazon wish list, but I haven't used it at all this year. I really haven't been promoting it, which means, you know, it's like having a credit card, and I haven't really spent much on it yet, or you guys haven't really spent much on it yet. So maybe I could, you know, when pre-orders are available, I'll add it to that list, and, you know, then you guys could go ahead and purchase it for me and have it sent to here at the Snort Fort instead of sending it to your house. But then there's this imaginary rumor that I heard on Twitter X amount of months ago that may or may not be true, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway, that there only might be one per household. Well, I don't know if they're going to let you guys do that because of supposed scalping, even though he already sold you guys, or he tried to sell you guys, on the line that, oh, you guys are probably not going to buy the consoles anyway. You're just going to want to watch me go ahead and unbox and go through all the instructions and go through all the menus and go through the dashboard and everything. And then you'll decide if you want to buy it later. You see how this plays out? Eventually, it's just going to go to, you guys can just send me the money and whatnot, and then I'll pre-order it for myself, and then there you go. So it went from he was going to buy the consoles because everything was working out to now you guys are just going to send me the money and I'll buy the consoles separate from the Vest goal. That's essentially where he's going with this. Well played, Philip. Well played.
Can't pre-order for themselves. So unless, okay, I have no interest in the PS5, but I want Phil to get it, I'll pre-order it for him. How rarity of a case will that be? Chances are, if you're a gamer, you want it for yourself and you want to help me, how are you going to be, they might not allow you to do that. Because one person from the same household, you see what I mean? Buying 2 consoles. Plus, we don't know if they're going to allow you to pre-order and then ship somewhere else. And maybe you can only order for yourself if this is the case. So, I don't know. Now, here's the other thing. Depending on how they do the pre-orders, there's potential that someone could look like they pre-ordered for me and then cancel it.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is the same fucking idiot who sat there and had people send him controllers and sent him other paraphernalia, if you will, through his Amazon wish list. He's had people go onto his Amazon wish list, put in their information, buy it, and have it shipped to him. And one of those occasions with the Hori controllers, it showed up downstairs at his door. He had the email alert for it and was too lazy to go and get it. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till my break to go and get it," and let it sit out there for like an hour. Like, it must have been like 35-40 minutes. Couldn't even text Kat, who was home, I believe, to go ahead and get it for him. Just let it sit outside. And this is the fuck muffin that people want to support. This is what we've come down to. This stale fucking potato chip is what people want to throw their hard-earned money at. Wow.
When I first announced my Amazon wish list last year and I launched it, a lot of people showed, "Oh, I bought everything for Phil and I never got any of it." But there's apparently a way in place that you could just basically trick Amazon into thinking you actually bought stuff for someone, but then you never did. So someone could potentially say, "Oh, I pre-ordered for Phil," and then I have no confirmation or way to confirm that it's actually real. It's bogus, you see? So I don't know what's going to happen. I absolutely 100% want to get both the PS5, by the way, the digital edition of the PS5. There's no reason I need a disc version. I definitely get the cheaper digital edition of the console. And the Xbox Series X at launch to do launch coverage for you guys. I think that would be beneficial. You guys would like it. I would love to do it. I did it last console gen, but I can't guarantee you that I can do it. Because right now, I know I can't drop money for it. All the money I have has to go towards this tax situation. Period. I would be so irresponsible to start dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars on console pre-orders and shit when I don't even know what's going to happen with my own personal situation. I can't right now. If this gets resolved in the next few weeks, great. But right now the government is so backlogged on shit. I might not hear from them until like August or September. Who knows? I want to hear from them fucking today, and I want this in place and going so I'm not worried about it anymore. Of all the things in my life, like I told you guys, I'm not feeling that anxiety in the back of my head anymore about, oh my God, I can't pay my bills. I'm going to have an overdraft notice tomorrow. What I am having anxiety about is these fucking taxes. I want this done. I want this set up, going, done. But I can't control the speed that the government moves, especially with the pandemic. Okay? So, sadly, I'm stuck. That's something that I absolutely 1,000,000% want to do. By the end of this year, I want to get those consoles, cover them for you, but I can't guarantee that's going to happen. We have to basically play it by ear, see what happens with my taxes, see what happens with the pre-orders, and go from there. All right, guys? Is there a possibility someone could actually pre-order these consoles for me? Yes, but then there's no guarantee that it'll work because there may be limitations on the pre-order process, and someone might just fucking troll me. Okay? So let's see what happens with that. Outside of those two things, obviously, there's been a lot of changes to my streaming this year. Just with the fact that the Vest streak, the Vest celebrations and stuff, I'd like to kind of open up to you guys and hear what are your big suggestions for improvements to my streams. And in fact, now I'm going to do a couple shout outs and I'm going to open up the open Q&A now and hear what are your suggestions for things that you would like to see that you think that I could improve upon with my streams. All right. And then what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about just in my private life, what I'd like to do as well, if I can ever afford anything. All right. But let's do some shout outs first. All right. Timbo Slice Cherry said pre-order systems on Amazon, they don't charge you till they ship. And therein lies the problem, Timbo. Therein lies the problem. Because I guarantee you they're not going to do that this time around. Previously, sure, and that's why you could have scalpers and shit. But now I guarantee you, Timbo, they're only going to allow one per household. They may even make you prepay to make sure there's none of that going on. And if that's the case, you know, then I can't do it. So we have to see what happens with that. Smelly Bunghole Disgusting. What a nice name. Timmy, $4.20, and says, is it just me, or were Halo Infinite graphics absolutely terrible? Horrible pop-in, washed out colors, poor textures. Microsoft should be ashamed. Not only that, the lighting was also terrible. There was like one piece of lighting that looked amazing, and they did that on purpose as the main focus of the camera. And then if you actually look at the lighting around the rest of the environment, around the edges of the screen, it's like Xbox 360 levels of lighting. It really is. So yeah, it's funny because when you first see it in action, what you're trying to focus on is the gameplay mechanics. Gee, what did they add to the game gameplay-wise? But then when you watch it back, because I did this myself, I watched back the Halo Infinite gameplay again, and I basically scrutinized it, and I could not believe how bad it looked. And the only thing I can say is, probably because it's cross-platform. They wanted it to be on Xbox One and Xbox Series X, so you have to make a cross-platform product, and it's going to be shit. It's going to be downscaled. It's not going to take advantage of all the things that the Xbox Series X can do. It's probably not a good idea because who's going to buy the console if the games look like shit on it? One of the characters became a meme. One of the characters is a meme. He's kind of like a bootleg Thanos face, and they put it all over the internet, and people are just cracking on it so bad. It's a terrible negative meme about this. So Halo Infinite, at first everyone was hyped, and now it's a running joke on social media. Everyone's laughing at how bad it looked. Sleepy Reader, resubscribed for 20 months. He says, we are 1/5 of the way to the 1,000 vest streak. I want to see taking a shower with the king on an OnlyFans page. That's never going to happen. Will we hit 1,000 vest streak? I have no clue. That would be insane. Each 50 vests is about a month. That would mean, you know, another, what would it be? 800 divided by 50. Another 16 months. So that would be like the end of next year. We'd be on a 1,000 vest streak. I seriously don't foresee that happening. That's insanity. There's no way we're going that long. Fuck no. Thank you for the support, Sleepy Reader. The Paradox 988 resubscribed for 13 months and happy 200 vest streak field. Thank you very much to the Paradox. Timbo Slice you said they announced the game was running on PC. What was? Halo Infinite? That's even worse. Why did it look so bad then? That's even worse. How is that going to be your first presentation of gameplay of the game and it looks that bad it's running on PC? I don't want to talk about that. That's even worse. Okay. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the food is en route. It's not here yet because they'll actually tell me when it's on the way to being delivered. But my question to all of you right now is as follows. All right. What are your suggestions of things that I could improve? All right. On my streams, things you'd maybe like to see me do on streams that I've never done before, or things like equipment or events. What are your suggestions? I want to open it up because your feedback has been so useful to me since I became an interactive streamer, and you guys regularly give me awesome ideas. So I want to open up to a forum here and see what you guys would be interested in. Derek says, what about a contribution meter where it fills up during a stream on screen? I did that for one stream ever, and I believe it was last year. I want to say it was probably halfway through the year, where I had like a big, I think it was like $1,000 tips goal set up, and it went up and up and up over the course of the stream. What I've found is they're not very good, at least the ones that I've looked at. Sadly, they're kind of like, their limitations aren't great. Like, I wish I could fully customize the thing, how it looks, and not be intrusive to the stream or whatever. This up here isn't so intrusive because it's just a bar. It's not blocking much. Actually having a meter show up and fill up and blocking gameplay and stuff on the screen, I feel maybe too intrusive. I'm not shooting down the idea. I'm basically saying if you guys have a suggestion of like something like that that I could do that would not be intrusive to the streams, oh, use this one and use this plugin in OBS and it looks good or whatever. I'm all ears, but from what I've seen available, they didn't look like there was much good stuff available, okay? Sticky Dick says, return to cooking with the king. Here's the thing. There's nothing for me to cook. All right. Here's what I cook. You guys ready? I'm serious. Here's what I can cook. Any kind of like a panini or grilled cheese sandwich. I can make those easily, and I actually regularly make those for myself for snacks. Simple eggs, you know, whether it's sunny side up, over easy scramble. Maybe an omelet if I try really hard. Anything that can be made stir fry, which is basically the simplest cooking possible. Pre-done ingredients, toss it in a pot or a wok or stir fry pan, add some seasonings and sauce, stir, done. That's what I can do. Frying stuff up in a pan like a burgers, hot dogs, that kind of stuff. The simplest stuff. I am not a good cook, all right? The only complex meal I can make is my Italian sauce recipe, which I have improved over the years since my mother gave it to me years ago. And some people have expressed their desire to see me do that again, to like do another video, show us how you now make your sauce in a different way, because you say you've changed it over the years or whatever. And I could definitely do that. I could show you my methodology of how I make my sauce now, because it's actually changed big from the first time I did that video 6 years ago. And I've got techniques now for like things like cutting an onion. I developed this technique that's really cool to cut an onion really easily. And I could show you tips and tricks and things that I've learned over the years for doing that. But that's not something super important. Like, that's a one video event. That's not necessarily something for the streams. See what I'm saying? I'm asking for my streams themselves. What would be your recommendation of something that I could bring back for streams? Cooking with the King is not going to come back for streams. It's never going to. If it ever is a show, it'll be just a one-off video. It's not going to be for the streams. You see what I'm saying? Atlas Televon Shooty says, a new camera to replace the current one you're using. It would make the shows like Ask the King and this show look much better. Alright, so people have asked me for years what camera I'm using. I will answer this for you right now. Let me take a look at this fucking thing. Does it even say? It actually doesn't. Alright, it's an... Oh, wait a minute, it does. I think it says it on the front. Carl Zeiss lens. Ah, shit, it doesn't. Alright. I'm going to find this camera. I'm going to find out what it is. And I agree with you. That would definitely be something I would look to improve. Because this webcam at this point is old. Okay? So... it's an HP... no, Logitech 1080p webcam. So I can tell you right now, there's no way that they still sell this. There's no fucking way. There's... oh my god! That's it? No, it's not. Okay, it's a... okay. It's an improved version of this webcam. Alright, I see. Yeah. This is the new version of that webcam. I can show you guys what it looks like. So this is the latest version of the webcam that I'm using. My webcam actually looks exactly like that, except that it doesn't have the same typing on it. Like, that says Logi for Logitech.
Why can't we just insert a picture in OBS? Why are we showing our phone with this? And isn't that the same? I mean, that looks kind of dated. Like, wasn't that big like 4 years ago? I guess. I don't know. I guess it depends on the model, but wow. I mean, he doesn't even utilize his current camera to its fullest potential. So why do you even need that?
Or whatever, blah, blah, blah. My webcam looks exactly like that. That's the webcam that I have used for like 10 years. Like, when I started using webcams, that was the one I bought. Well, I had two. I had one that was much crappier. It was 720p. This one does 1080. But it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best. Definitely, I think I could get a more improved webcam. The C920, right. The C920 is the normalized modern version of what I have. I'm sure this isn't C920. This is probably like C8 or C7. You know, they probably have an older version, and that's the one I have because it's over 10 years old. What I'm seeing, looking here, I'm seeing a lot of webcams that are in anywhere from $50 to about $200 price range. In fact, this one here, seems to be a much improved model of the one that I have, and this one looks like it's $180. The lens is twice as big as the one that I have.
What a
What I
lazy
can
fuck.
see.
What an that'll make a great screenshot though. What a lazy fuck. Jesus Christ. Yet again, all new stuff. Can't even utilize what we have to our fullest potential. I want all new shit. And he's literally just running down the gamut. Running down the Amazon list so these idiots can get their walls together. This will make a great screenshot though. Jesus Christ.
And the thing with a webcam or any camera, the bigger the lens, the better the quality of video. It's just, the bigger the lens you get, you're going to have more detail, more light coming in. It's going to look better. Okay?
We're talking about someone who doesn't really know anything about cameras though. Keep that in mind. He's been crying about that big lens thing for a long ass time. Oh my god. Like, this guy wanted like a professional photographer's type camera for his shit. Like, he's been barking about that for years. He was supposed to get that from the Patreon thing. It was like $2,000 or some shit. Like, Darkside Phil needs a $2,000 camera to do garbage. To do garbage. I don't know how you could say it any better.
So I would probably, if I were to improve my webcam, all right. No, I didn't. Oh my god, weirdos. Anyway, yeah, I would probably look for a webcam around that price range because I would want to get something good. I wouldn't want to spend money on something that's going to end up being exactly the same as what I have. I would want something that's a big step up. So I actually 100% agree with Atlas Telemon. I would want to get a 1080p, all right, but something that has a much bigger lens and definitely, you know, better quality, not fuzzy like mine. Like right now you can see, if you look right here where my hand is, you see how it's all it's like, you see dots, right, moving around. That's light. And that's because my camera lens is so small, it doesn't capture the light as well as a bigger lens. If my lens was much bigger, the lighting around me would be more defined. It wouldn't have all this shit. It wouldn't look as bad. All right. So I 100% agree with Atlas Telemon. That's something that I think actively I would want. Now, here's the thing. I would definitely want to rely on you guys and your input for something like that. Reason being, I would want to essentially get something that you guys are using that looks great. I wouldn't want to just shot in the dark by a camera that I don't know if it's any good. All right. So I would take you guys. What are your suggestions of cameras? Do you guys?
Why don't you go and do your own fucking research? Why are you going off someone else? I thought this was Mr. Analytical, but instead of going ahead and doing research like normal people to see what's good and what isn't, there's nothing wrong with taking recommendations, but do your own fucking research because you're the one that's using it, not them. But no, what do you guys think are good cameras? Give me your opinions. You guys go out and do the research for me. Jesus. It's so sad. It's so downright petty and egregious and certainly pathetic on how lazy he is. Bottom of the fucking barrel lazy. He could just go to his peers, just other streamers, popular streamers, successful streamers, who list all of their peripherals down at the bottom of their streams, and he could literally just look at those, copy paste, and see what's what, and get prices and everything. Too lazy to do that too. Yet again, just go ahead and have the piggies go out there and do that for him. You guys do all the footwork because you guys are going to be the ones that are going to buy it and pay for it anyway. So you guys go ahead and choose what it is, and then just send it to Uncle Phil. I take back that Uncle Phil part because that's an insult to Uncle Phil.
Went out there that's between $100 and $200 maybe. That's like a really outstanding webcam that I could use, right? That's what I would be looking for. Okay. Now, by the way, not looking for that now. Can't get that now, but that's a good suggestion. So I would say that's a good suggestion. Number one, get rid of this fucking thing. Get some kind of a new seating arrangement. Maybe a green screen behind me and a new webcam. That's the direct improvements I could do to my streams. I agree with you guys. Mr. Barbavera just cheers. I know it's not practical now. I want to say if you want the best kind of camera for streaming and not a webcam, buy a digital SLR camera for professional looking picture and future proof, because some will support. Well, here's the thing though, Papa Vera. Back when I was looking at webcams, the reason I bought a webcam and didn't use a camera per se, very simple. The webcams do live streaming video, the cameras didn't. The cameras had no ability to plug them into a PC and function as a live feed camera. What they would do is record to a media, like a save file in the camera and a hard drive or to a memory card, and you would have to transfer that to your PC. There was no active way to get that camera to do a live video feed to your PC. If that were the case, I never would have bought a webcam. I would have actually bought a
How long ago was that, Caveman? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just how long ago was that? Oh, forever ago. So we justify our ignorance and our laziness because, oh, like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, I didn't do that because it wouldn't do this one function that would be brain dead easy for me, so it would be one less step for me to do. Keep in mind, this is the same idiot who used to record all of his shit off of a camcorder and bought a shitload of camera memory cards so he could constantly keep filling those things up and putting it on his PC and transferring it over and over and over again. That's why a lot of the vlogs were shorter back then. That's why a lot of the pre-streams were shorter back then, because he had only so much memory in those memory cards to be able to do so.
And did that. Now, Papa Vera is saying they do that now. They do? That's amazing. That's what I would hey, don't spend $100,
Jesus
$200
Christ.
on it.
So don't throw your money away on someone who's too ignorant to do his own research on shit. Please don't. Please don't. Okay? There's no reason why you guys gotta set yourselves back financially because this fucking caveman is too lazy to do shit for his own fucking business. Seriously. He's too goddamn lazy to do anything for himself. He wants you guys to not only purchase it and send it to him, but do the research on what I can and cannot do depending on what he wants. He's legit already just... He's grooming them to go ahead and do all the research and buy the camera. As if they were buying it for themselves. Based on the specs and functionality that he wants. And they're doing it. They're legit doing it. Oh my god. I can see why people like the Quartering, the people like Rich from Review Tech USA, the people like Wings were so quick to try to exploit him. Because he's got downright fucking morons who were not only willing to throw money at him, but also do the research for the product that they're about to throw money at for him. You couldn't ask for more. These people are doing research for stuff that they would never do for themselves, but they'll do it for Phil. Wow.
Webcam, go buy a $200-$300 camera, hook it up to the PC that way and do it that way. I would 1,000,000% in a heartbeat do that. But again, I'm 10 years removed from doing anything like that. So I would need help and suggestions on camera models and things that we're sure will work. So I'm not going and dropping hundreds of dollars and now it doesn't do what I needed to do.
You're not dropping hundreds of dollars. You've already groomed them for them to drop the hundreds of dollars, idiot. What are you talking about? You're already grooming them to do it. He's making it sound like he's actually got a dog in this fight. Or he's got a horse in this race. He doesn't have any of those things. Legit, everything is going to fall upon the backs of the people who are doing the research and then who pass it off to the other cucks who are going to actually spend the money to buy it. He loses nothing.
Okay. Fruits07 just cheers. Says, how about get a new capture card for your gameplay so you can play in 4K HDR? Sadly, that's not possible. Allow me to explain why. Right now, when I stream on Twitch, I'm streaming at 6,500 kilobits per second. Okay? That's the highest bitrate Twitch allows. I can't even do 1080p 60 frames per second at that bitrate. It looks bad. I've tried it. It looks bad.
I think he's lying about that, but don't quote me because I don't stream, but I think he's lying about that.
I would need around 9,000 to 10,000 kilobits per second.
Or he's just outright misinformed. And keep in mind, bitrate was the exact same reason why this bitch left in the first place. I think bitrate has gone up since then, but whatever. Even if he can't stream at that rate, he could do that on YouTube. But, you know, you saw how that all went.
60 frames that looks good. Can you imagine the requirement level you would need to stream at 4K? It's just not viable. It's not possible on Twitch. Okay, it's not going to happen. Now, what Fruits is suggesting is maybe not so much upgrade my capture equipment for you guys, but upgrade my capture equipment for me. And allow me to explain what I mean by that. I have a 4K television that has HDR right now. Alright? I have a PlayStation 4 Pro that supports 4K and HDR. If I wanted to, alright, I could hook my PlayStation 4 Pro to my TV and game in 4K right now. But I don't do that. Why not? Because my setup, my capture device, HDMI splitter, etc., do not support that. Okay? So if I'm going to get video that I need to share with you guys when I'm streaming or capturing while I'm playing a game, I can't ever play at those levels. I've confirmed I did hook up the PS4 Pro directly to the TV, and I can do it. But whenever it's hooked up to any of this equipment, it just says error, cannot do it. So I think what Fruits is suggesting, not so much for you guys, the viewing audience, but for my own personal benefit, drop money on getting new capture device that does 4K HDR, new, you know, splitter, all the new equipment, so that I can see games at the highest quality. I'll be honest with you, Fruits. Now, I'm not saying I don't appreciate that. That does sound like an awesome suggestion that maybe one day, if I could afford it, I'd like to do that. But that's not something viable because anything I spend has to be for improvement of my product that I put out to you guys. I don't have
Nothing you
money.
do is for the is to put out a better product to anybody. Here's the thing, and here's the reality, if you will. Whatever improvements that are made for the stream doesn't change anything because the content is still garbage. Okay? The content is still trash. If he's still sitting there waiting to be hoofed-holed, if he's still sitting there falling asleep in the middle of his streams, if he's still sitting there failing at games, then what's the difference on how good it looks to you when the content itself is still trash? And anybody with any level of common sense is going to come in and think the exact same way and move the fuck along. It means nothing. And everything that he does as it pertains to streaming right now is for his personal benefit. Completely and totally. That's why he's so quick to try to dismiss this. Because he doesn't want to come across as a total asshole. And here's the thing. How the fuck have you been streaming this long and you don't understand jack shit about your profession? And the aspects that's going on in it. This is how you make your money, right? This is how you butter your buns for your turkey burgers. And you have no clue how anything works. He's been working off the setup that is from 2013, basically. 2014, whenever the fuck he started streaming. Things have advanced. Things have moved forward. And he has no clue. Or at least he's trying to play it off like he has no clue. And that's why when he talks shit about content creation on YouTube, we laugh at him. Because he has no clue what the fuck he's talking about. Everything he's talking about is outdated. 2015 shit. I remember it's in a, is it Lummox? The hired hoodlum. He's a Wings of Redemption troll. It's a funny channel. It's really hilarious stuff. I actually got some plans coming up with some of those videos in the future. Wings has been told some of DSP's like stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, like some of the stuff that he runs for his streams or whatever, and Wings laughed at him. He laughed at him and then did a quick Google search and was like, yeah, that shit's old. Nah, that's not gonna work. No, it's not, there's a reason why that's not gonna go with this, because it's outdated. And then they clowned about how he doesn't update Windows or anything. Like, Wings had a fucking whole laugh about that nonsense. You can find that, I'm sure, in like Fat Man's, who's another Wings troll. I'm sure you can find that in some of his content creation too. Actually, I think it's fair to call them Wings detractors instead of calling them trolls, but whatever. He's so behind the times, it's disgusting. So he's legit going to use this vest streak to basically springboard himself forward 7 or 8 years, let's say. 7 or 8 years, so now he's up with everybody else. But the content is still going to be garbage. So it doesn't matter how it's presented to you. if it's still garbage, ladies and gentlemen, it is still garbage. And he don't see that. For years, people told him, you need to improve the visuals. You need to improve the visuals. You need to improve the visuals. When at a time, I guess people said he had a personality. He don't have he doesn't have a personality now. He's a fucking potato. He's a fucking potato. He's useless now. He was useless before. He's even more useless now. So investing all this money into him is useless. He's going to do everything he can to make sure the experience is enjoyable and comfortable for him. He gives not a fuck about what he shits out. He never has. He never will. Yikes, those people need to wake up.
Like that would be new capture device, new splitter, new cables, figuring out how to make all that work. You're talking hundreds of dollars and hours of work, right? For what? For me to see visually better? I'm okay with 1080p. I don't need 4K. I've never even seen HDR, so I don't know the difference. It would be good for me to help me, but it wouldn't help you guys. I'm looking for suggestions of things that are going to help the product I put out to you, that you feel would be a definitive improvement to what I'm doing, not things that would benefit me. Hey, sure, maybe somewhere down the line,
be a better content creator. Be a better person. Stop worrying about what other people have to say about you. Excuse me, and focus on the content. Stop taking advantage of the handicap and the mentally and physically disabled, and actually try to make your own way in the world for the first time in your fucking life. Those are some good starts. They're not everything, but those are some good starts.
Myself, you know, but I'm definitely not considering doing that right now. Okay, so thank you for the suggestion, but for now, that's not going to be one that I'm considering. Insomniatic Meat tipped me $5 to keep your head up, Phil. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm digging the stream. Thank you, Insomniatic Meat. I appreciate that. I hope you feel better. Sucks that you're feeling under the weather. So we're up to $73 in tips, guys. Remember, I did announce that when we hit the tips goal, there will be a new vest reveal live here on stream, but we got to hit the tips goal, okay? All right. More suggestions. Let's see. A new microphone. How long have I had this mic for? I bought this mic, I want to say it was either 2015 or 2016. I can't 100% remember. But this microphone and this setup with the you know, all this was bought about 4 years ago. Most people tell me they like it. I don't think that people have complained about my audio quality. They say that this is professional level, and I agree. Like I have a little receiver here unit that this plugs into, and then that configures the audio, sends it to my PC. Does anyone think that the microphone isn't up to snuff and that I should improve it, or do you guys like the quality of my audio? What do you feel? I'd like some feedback on that, please, because personally, I've never really gotten a complaint since I upgraded this. I've never really gotten a complaint. Everyone seems to like it. But if you guys feel that there's something, you know...
Even though as of late, it keeps going out on him, and he has to keep tapping it to go ahead and get the click back on, that would assume that there's some type of problem. Not necessarily hardware, though. More software, but, you know, Phil's not that smart, you see, so he don't know. And he don't believe in updating drivers, because that's just a waste of his time. He's got to worry about the business.
Okay, Hobo X just said something interesting. He said, your mic quality is fine, but the audio of your streams is low compared to everyone else. I don't know why. Right now, I'll give you some perspective. In OBS, which I'm using, I use OBS as my streaming software, capture software. My microphone is set to maximum volume. I cannot increase the volume of this microphone at all right now. My desktop volume for some games is set to around half. For some games is set to around 75%.
You're an idiot. Rare. You don't know how to increase the decibels of your... let me stop. I've had shitty audio quality too, so let me stop. He'll learn eventually. Phil, coming from someone who has shitty audio quality himself, you'll learn eventually. You'll learn eventually.
That I'll go higher than that, because then you tell me the game volume's way too loud and you can't hear me talking. I've already maximized the microphone volume. So I don't know why that is, why you guys are saying it sounds so low compared to other streamers. I don't know what other streamers are doing with their setups. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what equipment they use. You see? So, I don't know. Okay, I'm getting more feedback. Atlas Telemon Cheer says your audio is perfect. Don't change it. Your audio is perfect. Anyone who says your sound is weird is because of their own equipment, not yours. That's what Encephalols just said. Sounds perfect to me, says Derek. So it seems most people are in agreement they like the microphone level. Okay? So, alright. Some people are saying, what about a soundboard? It's an interesting premise. Hold on a second. I have something I want to show you guys. I haven't revealed this to you. I want to show you guys something. And then there's an unfortunate thing about it. So don't get too excited, but I want to show you guys something, okay? Hold on.
So I assume this is that stream deck that was, air quotes, donated to him. And now we're about to use. And then he's never got a chance to use it.
Hold on.
And it's been sitting in a container for what? How many years? Jesus Christ. You can hear it. Wow.
So what I want to show you guys is that I'm completely nude. No, I'm not complete. I'm just kidding. Okay. What I have here is something that someone donated to me over the years. I'm not going to reveal if and when. I just don't want to stir up any drama. Someone donated something to me, okay, that I thought I was going to be able to use to improve my streams a lot because it would allow me to do things like soundboards, transitions. It's a really neat device, and I was excited when I got it, only to find out I can't use it.
X the doubt. Now, I understand that the current lore is that he bought it, that someone bought it for him. I'm thinking he bought it, and I'm thinking he bought it probably during a Black Friday, a Cyber Monday, or an after holiday sale and whatnot. I would assume also he may have bought it in the time span that he's been with Kat. I think Kat may have seen it and she thought maybe it would have been a good idea. Who could say? Like, you know, these are not exactly Theo theories, but I'm thinking he bought it. I'm thinking this is a sham. It's easy to say that, oh, someone else bought it for me 2 years ago or whatever, however long it was, but I don't want to name them because there's no drama, because I don't want to stir up drama. Are they even around anymore? It was 2 years ago. Who gives a fuck? I click X out. I click X out. I think he purchased it for himself. And then the fucking idiot was like, came to the realization it wouldn't work with Windows 7 and 8. And he won't upgrade to 10 because he'd have to relearn Windows 10. His words, not mine. I don't understand the logic behind it. It's all the same shit anyway, but whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna click X out on that.
You guys know what this is?
I mean, if they can steal their mother's credit card information, I could assume that they can read.
It's great. Great. I could sell this for a lot of money. No. It's the Elgato Stream Deck. Okay? What is this?
I don't even think you use an Elgato capture card, do you? Huh.
If I can hold it. It's a little device that has buttons on it. And what you do is you use the software that it comes with to program these buttons to do things on a stream. So, for example, if I wanted to play a sound effect, okay, I could press this, boop, and it would play a sound effect for you guys on the stream. If I wanted to transition from the webcam to gameplay to my pre-stream art, I could do it all by pressing buttons instead of me clicking around and fucking around over here. In fact, I think you can even program this to record and stop recording, which right now I use a mouse to do, and you hear clicks, audio clicks on my stream when I do it, right? So that's what this is for. It's supposed to be a device that allows you to and by the way, the buttons, well, you can't really see it. The buttons can be programmed to have pictures on them. See that? You can make like little thumbnails that you can put on here, all right? And you can program them to do stuff like pictures and programs.
It's legit like explaining something to children. Like it's I imagine someone at a daycare or someone in an elementary school computer class trying to explain this to children in the most simplest way possible. It must be insulting if you're it must be, yeah, it's insulting that if you're someone in his audience of any type of intellectual level to be spoken to like this, I would think.
Cool. And when the person said that they wanted to donate this to me, I was like, that sounds really neat, man. Like, that sounds like something I could concretely improve my streams with. So, yeah, I considered using it. Of course, I didn't promise anything. I said, yeah, please, if you want to donate it or whatever, you can.
Why would you ask them to donate something that you had no intention of using? Or you concretely wasn't going to use? Like, how does that make sense? Like, that, if that was the case, then why did you ask them to donate it? If you were going to put it out there that was even going to be a 50-50 chance of you ever using it, why would you ask them to waste their money to send it to you? Or to buy it and have it sent to you? Like, how much of a disrespectful piece of shit is he to allow something like that to happen? And then the reason why he's not using it is his fault, not the person who sent it to him. Not even the manufacturer. It's Phil's fault that he's not been using this. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Using it for my streams. Great. So I get it. Right? I get it. And I'm like, this is great. I'm going to start using it. And guess what? I can't use it. You want to know why? Because the Elgato Stream Deck requires Windows 10. It doesn't work on any other version of Windows. Only Windows 10. I don't use Windows 10. My PC is old. It's 6 years old. It's still running on, isn't it Windows 7 or 8? I don't even know what Windows
his
it runs
laptop's running off 7. His desktop's running off 8.
But it runs on an old Windows. I don't have Windows 10. And quite frankly, my PC is the most, I'm not exaggerating now. The PC that I'm using is the most stable PC I've ever owned in my entire life. Every PC that I've had before this PC crashed, error, problem after problem. This PC I've used more than any PC I've ever owned and is consistently works, okay? Every day
now, this is him shitting on Chris and Teo even after all these years. Jesus Christ, that's disgusting. He's going to try, but he's trying to lump it all together. So this is how this plays out. Follow me on this. First PC that he had was your typical pre-build. It was an Acer, black. That used to be in his living room back in the condo. He ended up getting a second PC, silver. There's a silver and grayish finish. It's an HP. He used it for the PC that was in his bedroom. He probably watched the majority of his porn on that. Then the first PC that was ever, I was going to say donated, but it wasn't, that was built for him was by Chris and Teo. Cost him about $1,200, maybe a little more than that. And Phil tried to run the price up and say that they tried to charge him $2,000 or something ridiculous. And Chris or Teo, one of the two, ended up making a video showing the invoice and showing what they used everything for. So just to show how Phil gives a fuck about people who do things for him, because they didn't do it for profit. Everything they asked for was strictly in parts and to the specifications that Phil wanted. And Phil said there was a problem with it. It was probably, I think it was the RAM, if I remember correctly. Phil Phil just needed to make sure the RAM was properly in place and installed. But Phil don't understand what RAM is nor how it works, so that goes over his head. So anyway, he ran that at like half capacity for years until he moved into Washington. Then he ends up spending $3,000 on what we call the infamous CyberPower Lemon. $3,000 Lemon PC. He spends $3,000 on that and hypes that bitch up, talking about how this is how you do pack a PC, or this is how you do build a PC. And the only problem, outside of what ended up coming up later with Chris and Teo's PC that they built for him, like I said, it's probably like a RAM issue. But when Phil initially unboxed it, there was a crack. It was a small crack alongside. It was small. It was a small fucking crack in the door. No big deal. Phil even said initially when he did the unboxing, it was not a big deal. Later on, he blew that shit up and said, oh, it's a large crack that's going straight down the middle. And what the fuck is that? He ends up unboxing the CyberPower PC, $3,000 Lemon, And guess what? Top hatch is broken. So it's all flimsy at the top and it's all loose and everything. And it had a crack in the door too, if I remember correctly. So, or on the side of it, I should say. So good job to Phil on that shit. Just has terrible luck with it. And then that's the PC that he's trying to brag about now. And he tried to capture live stream and capture and record on it, and it wouldn't do it because he doesn't know how to. He doesn't understand how his settings work, and he didn't want to go in. Or well, he tried. He tried to go in and mess with the settings, but he doesn't know what he's doing. End of story. Even though he used to build PCs in his mama's basement as a hobby, until lightning struck his house, fizzled out one or more of the custom PCs he built, and gave it all up. That's the lore. So take that for what that is.
No. I'm going to come to stream, and I'm going to be able to put out quality stuff for you guys because I know my PC works. Okay? I don't want to fuck with that. This is the most stable PC I've ever had. If I upgrade that to Windows 10, I could literally open Pandora's box of problems. Okay? With all the issues I've had over the years, I don't want to fuck around with upgrading.
Now keep in mind, this old man just found out during this stream that, oh, there are actually cameras out there that will record me live and go directly into my PC, no problem, and doesn't interfere with my streams. Holy shit! But now I don't want to download Windows 10 because it could fuck with my settings and it could possibly blow up my computer. My computer is the most stable PC I ever had, which is the reason why he runs it 24/7. He never turns it off. So I don't want to go ahead and get Windows 10 because it might ruin that. Oh my god. Okay, sure, whatever.
It dies. It could die soon. Okay. Guess what? The DSP Tries It is going to start soon because the food is arriving, everybody. I just got notice that the food is almost here. So that's exciting. We're going to do the DSP Tries It shortly. Let me take a look here. See how close they are. It says they are 5 minutes away. Yeah, they're 5 minutes away. Cool. So within 5-10 minutes, we'll probably be taking a break here and get set up for the DSP Tries It, okay? So anyway, I can't use this because I am not going to risk screwing over my entire setup, the stability of my setup, to upgrade my Windows just to use this. By the way, Windows is not a free upgrade anymore. There was at one point years ago, there was a free upgrade.
Anybody who has Windows 7 and 8, it's still a free update. And that's been already proven, obviously. That's already been proven. Or you can get a copy of it for like $20. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not hard to find. You quick Google search. You can make this happen. But it is free though. It is free. So why is he reluctant to do it? Is because he's lazy and he's fucking stupid. And this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you live in your own bubble. You don't know jack shit about jack shit. He talks about games and talks about other content creators all day and doesn't know jack shit about YouTube anymore and whatnot. He just knows what he used to be and doesn't understand and know shit about the current streaming atmosphere that he's in because he doesn't talk to nobody, right? He hates everybody because everybody's much more successful and they're making crazy money, and he ain't making jack shit except for begging people for money. He knows nothing. Nothing. And yet people still feel the need, feel compelled to follow this idiot. Walk hand and hoof straight into hell. For what? He knows nothing. And yet this is what they've been reduced to. Exactly to what he's been reduced to.
From Windows 7 or 8 to Windows 10. I don't even know which one I have on this PC. I really don't. Whatever was new in 2014, that's what's on this PC. But they don't, it's not free anymore. It costs hundreds of dollars just to buy it.
How does he even know that when, one, he doesn't even know what version of Windows he's even running? He doesn't even know what version of Windows he's running. First. Second, but he can tell you how much it is, though, for the new one. Well, why, Phil? Why would you even consider upgrading? You don't even know what the upgrade would even do. but you know it's going to be unstable. It's going to fuck everything up. Okay.
And on top of that, I'd be basically opening Pandora's box and tempting fate to fuck with me and make this PC screw up. Okay? So, I am not going to do that. This is the only thing ever, alright, that ever I would have needed an upgrade to Windows 10 to use. Why the hell this doesn't work with one generation older of Windows? That's ridiculous. I've never heard of
You mean one or two? Oh, that's right. He doesn't even know which version of Windows he has. So saying one generation removed, he don't know. Phil, this isn't like your fucking half cousin that you may have thought about doing naughty things with. This is software, fella. This is software, buddy. You need to be a little bit more precise. Sorry. Jesus Christ, man.
You have to upgrade to the latest operating system that it works. It's not like they reinvented the fucking wheel when they went from Windows 8 to 10. That's really stupid. Now here's the thing.
He has to be mentally stunted somehow. He has to be. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go and say that's my end all be all. It's not. I'm not even gonna say it's even worthy of a not exactly a Theo theory, but he's stunted somehow. He's definitely mentally stunted. He has to be. He has to be. There are very few people, ladies and gentlemen, who walk around this ignorant. It's just no. It can't be. It can't be. Jesus Christ, even my grandparents know what fucking version of Windows they're running. Fucking hey. I mean, this idiot can barely work a smartphone, let alone can you expect what he can do on a fucking PC? All he knows how to do is lie. Hey, shit, you don't even have to be the best at typing to do that. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna have to get a new PC. Eventually, I'm going to upgrade my equipment. And when that happens, I will want to use this. I will start trying
yet again, this is going back to what I said before. Instead, he needs a whole new setup. New PC, new laptop, new capture software, new capturing equipment, everything. He's going to scrap everything he has now for something brand spanking new. He's going to just go ahead. He has to buy everything new. Not work with what he has because he doesn't have the money. Remember, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, oink, oink. Everything has to be scrapped. Everything has to go into the piggy void, and we got to start over. And he's okay with that. Jesus Christ.
See how I can implement it. I can have it right here next to me on my table and use it on my streams. And 100% I'm gung-ho to try to do that. But until then, this is not a consideration. I'm not going to be using the Stream Deck because I'm not fucking with my equipment. I'm just not doing it. Okay? All right. Let's get this out of here now.
So it's not because he can't use it. It's because he won't use it. So let's say that someone did actually go out their way, spend, what is it, $100+ or whatever it costs to get that for him 2 years ago. How much of an asshole do you feel now? How much of an asshole do you feel now? You feel like a sucker? You feel like you got played? That's exactly what he did. He played you. He played you. He told you he had a bridge for sale and you bought it. He sold you on the chance that his content could get better. Content that you were willing to put your hard-earned money down to see get better. And he sat there and spat it right back in your face. And then snorted all the way, laughing. Acking as he goes along the way. Because he's too lazy to do something. Not because he can't do it. Because he refuses to do it.
Now, as for, could I just get like a soundboard or something? I mean, yeah, I'm sure I could just get a soundboard on my PC and click around, but now you're talking, having to go over here and look at icons and click and shit over here. Like, I don't click enough. You guys already complain you hear click noises and everything. Now you want me over here clicking on sounds and shit. You know, this thing, as I already showed you, I rarely use it. When I use it every once in a while, it's cool. But if that would be the thing. That
So, but now we're just going to be lazy. So, hey, you ever thought about using a virtual soundboard? Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I already clicked too much as it is. So I'm just going to use my little fucking sound box. Holy shit.
But I can't use it right now, okay? Okay. Let's see here. Alice Telemon cheer. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. VG Stuff Cheer says, you don't have to go all out, but I recommend you get a new PC. You get access to new software that would dramatically improve the stream. I agree with you. A new PC is definitely in the cards long term. I've had this PC running for 6 effing years, non-stop for my content. Obviously, at some point, I have to get a new computer, all right? It's going to happen. And that's one thing that definitely is in the works eventually. Right now, not so much. Okay, I'm trying to see where this guy is. Okay, right now, not so much, because that's going to be a very expensive investment. And quite frankly, until this PC dies, there's no reason for it. But I definitely am looking to do that in the in the future, maybe within the next 1 to 2 years, if I can afford it, which I hope I can. I definitely got to get a new PC. I 100% agree with you there. Okay. Alice Telemon Cheers says, if you receive tech equipment at your house from fans, will you accept it? See, here's the thing. It depends. I'm already skeptical because that Stream Deck, I was like, one of the few things I'll accept from someone. Oh, it sounds great. Then I get it and I can't even use it and it's just sitting around. It's like, you see? So, would I accept equipment from fans? Yes, but only if we talk about it ahead of time. We talk about system requirements. We talk about implementation and a plan to actually
So
use
then why
it.
didn't you do that the first time, retard? Why didn't you bring that up the first time? Matter of fact, when the guy offered it to you, why didn't you go ahead and go behind the scenes and actually check and see what kind of requirements the damn thing asks for? You see why you're a stupid fuck, right? You see why people laugh at you, right? You see why people are out here to take advantage of you, right? You see how people ain't sat there and made a crazy amount of money off you, right? If you're gonna act like an ignorant bitch, you should be expected to treat it as such. And that's what happened to you. That's what's still happening to you. People take advantage of people who they consider weak. That's what happens. It's the reality. You should know. You should know better than any of us. He's too stupid. He's too ignorant. He's too ignorant to even do his own research. Hey, Phil, I got this thing. Maybe it'll help you. Oh, okay. What is it exactly? All right, I'll look it up, and then I'll let you know if I think that'll work, and then you can send it to me. Oh, yeah, go ahead and just send it to me. Because Phil's all about a free lunch. And then it'll sit there, and he never uses it. And how insulting that is. How insulting and disrespectful is that? For someone to put their hard-earned money down to buy something and send it to you for you to sit in a box somewhere for over 2 goddamn years. And he don't care. He really don't. He don't care. If you haven't caught it yet, I wasn't going to call it out, but I'm going to do it. He's kind of low-key kind of throwing it on them like, oh, well, it's nice that you did this, but, maybe you should have, made sure it could actually work for me, and then we wouldn't have this problem. Completely absolving himself of responsibility. And then he tells everybody else, oh, if you want to send me equipment, sure. But we have to talk behind the scenes to make sure it actually works. Because if not, it's going to have to go in the box with the Stream Deck. You don't want that, right? You don't want to be like that asshole, right? You don't want to end up like him, right? Don't want to end up like the Stream Deck. Jesus Christ.
So for example, we're talking about stuff right now, and if anyone's interested in donating, you can email me at darksidefil@hotmail.com. We'll talk about it behind the scenes. We'll figure out the logistics.
He doesn't check emails. We already know this. Multiple people have said they've sent him emails. Oh, we'll send it again. Oh, we'll send it again. They reach out to him on Twitter through DMs, and then he'll eventually check. So sending him emails is useless. It's just going to go into the spam folder.
Do not, under any circumstances, just send me something, please. I get shit here sometimes. I'm like, what is this? I don't know what this is. If I get a box that I don't know who it's from, I throw it out. Because I'm
Great
sorry.
point. So I did this on the second channel. I talked about it briefly. Phil used to do fan mail, right, back when he was at the condo in Connecticut, and he did it a couple times. He would do it for a video, and every time he did it, there was at least 3 or 4 people each and every time who said, "Hey Phil, I sent you something last time and you didn't open it. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, you got to check with your post office, man. I don't know, man. I went and checked my PO box and it was the only stuff that are here is here, man. All the other stuff, man, I didn't get it, man. You got to be careful about stuff like that. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know." Years later, he admitted that, oh yeah, when people used to send me stuff for the fan mail or whatnot, if I didn't recognize the person or if I didn't recognize the package, I just tossed it. I didn't even bother opening it, because this is before trolls, by the way. This is before like the detractors really became a thing. He just tossed it. He said, "Yo, I just threw it away." You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know where it came from and I didn't want to risk it, so I just threw it away. So you're talking about you had kids from other countries, you know what I'm saying, who had very little probably, and spent what they had sending him stuff from their country, a little bit of their culture, right? And this ass clown, because he's already naturally paranoid, because he was paranoid before detractors and whatnot. That was something that's from his FGC days. You go digging into that, he was very much the person who just sat in the corner if he didn't know anybody. There are plenty of stories of people talking about Phil and saying, "Oh yeah, he used to be the guy who's just sit in the corner and just kind of like watch other people or whatnot. He just kind of was off to himself or whatever." Now, when he was with his little clique, you know what I'm saying, he might go ahead and, he might, be a little bit more confident about it. But outside of that, he's the antisocial fuck over there in the corner. That's how he wants to play it. So he was never any big shot. All that bullshit about being respected on the East Coast, garbage. Garbage. Outright lie. John and Howard even said the dark side Phil you see is an exaggerated version of who he really is. So imagine what dark side Phil is really like on the low end of the spectrum. He's probably an invert. Well, he is an invert, that's obvious. But the point being is that, or at least he has tendencies. So the point being is that these people used to send him shit month after month after month, and he just tossed it, threw it away, didn't even care, didn't give a shit, and then had the nerve on videos to lie to them and say, "Oh, the post office, man, it might have been the post office's fault. Oh, man, that might have been an issue with you, man, or your parents or whoever it was that sent it out for you. I don't know, man. Stuff like that happens, bro. It is what it is." And I remember, at least on one occasion, there was someone who sent him 3 stuff, or there's one individual tried to send him stuff 3 times, and I guarantee you Phil threw tried to email Phil in advance and everything, and Phil threw that shit out. And Phil sat there and would delete emails just as quickly as he does now. Or if it hits his spam folder one day and he forgets, just empties the spam folder. So who knows how much shit he's thrown away over the years. Plenty. And that's the real reason why he wants to talk to you behind the scenes before you send it. Because he wants to know who you are and see if you're trolling him or not. That's really what he's trying to do. He doesn't give a fuck about talking to you about specs or anything like that. He just wants to talk. He's basically trying to interview you to find out if you're a troll or not. That's really all he's trying to do. So who knows how much shit has been sent to this asshole over the years and just tossed it. Didn't give 2 fucks. Gone. Think about that.
There's too much shit that happens. People pranking me and doing dumb shit. I can't just have stuff showing up at the house that I don't know what it is. So I'm literally, oh, I don't know what this box is. Right in the trash. That's what I can't be accepting shit like that. Okay, you gotta let me know what's going on. All right. So yes, there's a possibility I will accept stuff, but you must let me know ahead of time what's going on with it. Okay. Timbo Slice Cheers said, "Congrats, you're moving up in the streaming world, no longer needing to use a keyboard like the 1900s." Well, eventually, maybe, if I get a PC upgrade, I can use a Stream Deck, but right now I can't. Angry Amiibo owner tipped $1.30, said, "Any way to have surplus tip money? Any after streams tips goals rolling into a fund somewhere where we can see where we're getting close to paying for a new camera or green screen or other gear, because I feel like people tip more with a visible goal to reach." All right. I'm not saying long-term that can't happen. Right now, you guys already know that can't happen because I'm still dealing with the tax situation. The other problem is, well, not problem, but You guys gotta understand something. Right now, the money I make via tips is literally the money that pays for everything. So, groceries, utilities, health insurance. The money I'm making behind the scenes from things like Twitch, that goes to pay mortgage, the car payment, the ongoing, the ongoing.
So I told you this earlier, many hours ago, obviously, but I told you this earlier that we need, when you guys look at Twitch, you need to break that shit up now. You kind of always needed to. I mean, Kiwi Farms and the Tractor Twitter does it, but his Twitch money, which is really just bits and subs, and then the Vest goal, which is tips, are two separate things. And in his head, he has it separated as such, and you're seeing that right now. You're seeing that right now. So he told us about tips, and he told us about what happens with Twitch money. Let's see about all the other ways he makes money and where that money goes.
Costs of living, etc., are basically paid by the stable money I usually get by Twitch, while it's the tips that pay for the day-to-day expenses and things. So even though you guys, oh, he makes all this tip money, it just sits around. No, that money is in and out, in and out. I get it, and immediately gets spent on important stuff. That's how it works. So it's not like I'm making, oh, today I made $74 of tips. That goes into a mysterious fund that's untouched. And I can, you know what I mean? And then I can later on save that up and draw upon it. I mean, that's not how it is. I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm not saying that once I get through this tax situation, okay, and we get to a point where things are better, that maybe I can actually have, okay, guys, so the fund is increasing. Look how we are in regards to the goals and everything. You know, look how close we are to hitting them or whatever. It's possible that could happen. It's possible that we could actually have a situation where we could have that, okay? Right now, it's not possible, but maybe in the future, all right? The thing
Now,
is, like I
we're
said,
being dishonest about a couple of things, so let's go ahead and check his ass. So he told us about Twitch money, which consists of tips and subs. Or no, sorry, let me take that back. Which consists of subs and bits. That's what he considers Twitch money. I told you guys all this. The Vest goal and tip money is completely separate from that. So that's our so there's our second income. We got our Twitch money, then we got our tips money. Where's YouTube at? Where's Patreon at? Where's the money from Teespring? And then where's the money that goes for donations? That goes to darksidephil@hotmail.com, or for the other big spenders, we assume, goes to DSPGaming@hotmail.com. Where is that money at? Oh, speaking of which, I'm not even done yet. What happens to the big tippers who tip off stream that goes straight to would show up on his Streamlabs leaderboard for top tip? Oh, if he didn't disable that. Where are all those big donations behind the scenes? Where's all that going? You see how this fuckboy ain't sat there and is conning them 10 ways a Sunday? Didn't even bring up YouTube. And he still makes money off YouTube. It may be only $2,000 a month, but it's still $2,000. Not talking about it at all. Still got Patreon going. Still making his little $400 a month off that. Not bringing that up. Not bringing up Teespring at all. People still buy shit off his Teespring. Or at least there's fucking people still trying to flex like they do. That's a thing. And then all the donations he gets behind the scenes that he don't talk about. Wow.
Other thing is, when circumstances come up, let's say, for example, all right,
he's more concerned about that food than anything. Just quit this. Stop it now, then. You're only wasting your own time.
I have no credit. You guys know that. I just explained this. What if something happens? I need to spend money on something that's unplanned. Right? So, for example, by the way, this guy is apparently sitting outside the gate but not coming in. What's going on? The guy who's delivering my food is at the front gate. He has all the instructions to get in, yet he hasn't come in. So I don't know what's going on right now. It's just frustrating to me because everyone else can figure it out, but apparently not this guy. He also has my number, so if he needs to contact me, he can text me or call me right now. So I don't know what's going on because he hasn't done so. You better not be eating my food. What is going on, man? Alright, let's continue. Murdoch tipped me $20 and said, I don't want to alarm you. I hope your PC is not connected to the internet. Windows 7 gets no security updates anymore. It becomes a malware paradise. Windows 10 is still available for free. Please consider it. I'm almost positive. I think it's Windows 8. I want to say, I think I do have a device that's on Windows 7, but this PC I'm almost positive is Windows 8. When I bought it, I think Windows 8 was the standard. So I think I'm good in that regard. I don't think that I'm at risk or anything like that. Don't worry about that, dude.
You will eventually.
So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. Like I said, guys, I've been using this PC for 6 straight years. It's the most stable PC I've ever had. I'm not all of a sudden going to get a virus now because I'm on Windows 8 or Windows 7 or whatever. Okay?
You don't even know.
Yeah.
I thought he said, "Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Windows 8 because that was the standard." I mean Windows 7. I mean, fucking moron.
What is going on? It's just showing he's sitting at the front gate and I'm not getting a call nor a text.
And he's more frustrated about the food than in this shit, man. Jesus Christ! If you're so worried about your fucking food and filling your gullet, I mean, I guess he has to feed the gout. Then fucking end this shit already. Stop taking questions, acting like you give a shit when you don't.
This. So I don't know what's going on right now. This is not good. What the hell is happening? I want my food. Melody Zelda has gifted a subscription to Lean In Band. I think I could message him. I just messaged him. I want my food. Alright. Timbo Slices tipped $6 and says, put on the red sexy vest. Guys, I keep telling you, there's no red vest. You guys have been talking about a red vest for like a week. I keep telling you there's no red vest. Alright? Anyway, thank you, Timbo. We did hit the tips goal. This is frustrating. This guy better message me back. Alright, I think I'm going to stop recording for YouTube while we try to figure this out. Because I don't know what the hell's going on with my food. Yes, but no one is here. What the hell? You are to... Oh my god. He did... Okay. Let me stop recording. Give me a second, guys.
Okay. Whatever. Jeez. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. That was painful there at the end. I gotta be honest with you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, give me a chance to clean up and then I will let you guys go. Jesus Christ. Why? Why? The gout must ache when it's hungry. Jesus. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh, that was painful. That was painful. At least at the end anyway. I mean, the whole thing was painful, but I had a good time up until the food thing. It's a sham. It's a complete and total sham. It's a complete and total fucking fraud, ladies and gentlemen. he's legit laid down the groundwork for why taxes essentially are never going to get finished paid off. So he'll always need crowdfunding for that. How if they want the consoles, if they want him to play the new consoles, excuse me, that they will have to donate it no matter what, in some way, shape, or form, whether they pre-order it for him, whether they send him the money, whether they send him the money to pre-order it, whatever the case may be. That's going to be a thing. A lot of his upgrades and everything, he's talking about upgrading his whole setup. He's not talking about upgrading just this or just that. The whole setup that he has currently will have to be scrapped, and everything has to be brand new day one. He's not talking about making any adjustments and doing everything over time, like Tevin did, for example, which is reasonable. It's what a lot of people do. You build your setup over time. Phil don't want that. He wants brand spanking new across the board. And he's literally going to run everything to death until he gets it, essentially. So if you guys don't want the setup to die, and then he has to take multiple days, which he's going to have to do anyway, to set everything up and get it all going, you guys might need to consider getting ready to donate all that stuff to him almost right away. I'm stunned, to be honest with you, on how ignorant this bastard is. And you always think, okay, Phil says something stupid, he'll never top that. No, he tops it. He topped it more ways than one. I am anybody who gives him the benefit of the doubt, your faith in humanity is very much misplaced. I'm sorry, it's just very much misplaced. Absolutely. After what I heard and saw here, you bet your goddamn bottom dollar that shit is misfucking placed. Believe that all day. Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you for part 2 of this. Oh, shit. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Networking Productions for the pseudo Snort Report and Tim Snortons. Ah yes, I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. I'll see you guys for the next one, because I gotta get through these. I'll see you guys. I'll see you for the next one and the broadcast. I'll take a Beg Berry latte. As a matter of fact, I'll take 2. Oh shit.